Is out there. My name is Chris Fung. I'm one of your hosts here at the Mind Sports Olympiad 2020, and we are about to head into one of the most extraordinary and exciting tournaments on our tournament schedule, Oware. Although, Oware has about a bajillion different names, one of the most accessible and most widely played games in the world, also one of the most simple in terms of equipment. You could literally go outside right now and get a couple of get a couple of sticks and dirt and pebbles and have a go there. We're featuring some of the strongest players around the world, and it's actually one of our most international tournaments. We've got delegations from South Korea. We've got people from all of the different African nations. People connecting all over the world this year. In just a little while, some of you more observant people will notice that there's a name at the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Is that left? Is that right? I think it is the left. It's the left. Of course, it is the left. You would notice that there's the name of a gentleman named Seth Bontiasmoa. He's the president of the Oware Society here in the United Kingdom, and he'll be joining us for a little bit of expert commentary as we move on through the rounds today. But unfortunately, right now, he's helping a whole bunch of players get connected to the game. Many of which are long-time Oware players, but they're playing the tournament for the very first time online. Actually, that brings me to this point, that the Mind Sports Olympiad itself is online for the very first time in its 24-year history, and it's super exciting that we have this opportunity to host these games like this today. We have about. We're playing on a website called playok.com. Right now, there are about 6 minutes left in registration, and there's a mad dash for some of the world's best players to join in. At last count, I think we had over 80 different entrants. We'll get a final number when Seth comes back. He's the tournament organizer for the event today. But it's simply extraordinary. I cannot wait to get stuck into Oware with everyone out there. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Mind Sports Olympiad, welcome. We are the world's largest and most competitive board gaming tournament in the world, and this is the very first year actually that we've migrated online. Generally, we're an in-person game thing, but with the restrictions of COVID, and we've decided to migrate online. And our fantastic managing director, our CEO, Mr. Eitan Ilfeld, has decided to make registration free across the entire month of August. If you're interested in signing up to this game or any others, please join us at msoworld.com. You'll have a whole bunch of games to choose from. And we have another 10 whole days left of competition. Of course, the competition itself, the crowning jewel of the Mind Sports Olympiad, is the Pentamind World Championship, the title of the world's strongest board gamer for that year, which for the past 2 years has been won by a gentleman named Ankush Khandelwal. And it's actually a really exciting award. We say play tournaments, and we'll take your top 5 scores across all of your different tournaments, and whoever's got the best scores wins the title. That's pretty much it. And the scores that you're given from your results are based entirely off your results and how many people play in that tournament, which means it's got a lot of repercussions for this Oware tournament, because we've got a lot of people playing, basically. We have, I think that the final registration is going to be coming close to 100 different entrants, some of the strongest board gamers in the world. And so the top scores, I'm imagining, are going to be quite high. You get a score out of 100 based on, 1, your result, and 2, the number of players who participate in that tournament. Some extraordinary individuals that we've had the opportunity to meet through this tournament, as well as every other tournament so far today. Without exception, we've had some of the smartest board gamers in the world in their own respective disciplines grace our tournament stage. And we've been playing across a whole number of different interfaces and different websites, PlayOK being one of them, another large one being Board Game Arena. Of course, a shout out to our good friends over at Board Game Arena, and also to our good friends over at Catan Universe, Catan being one of the best-selling games of the past 10 years. If you're tuning in right now, you should, if you have comments for us, we're happy to take your questions and comments over on YouTube. We'll also be streaming later on Facebook and Twitch and Twitter later on, unless of course I'm mistaken. All right, so Oware, you must be out there wondering, what the heck is this strange game Oware, and how do we play it? Well, in just a little while, folks, we'll be able to dive into our first matches with some of these incredibly strong players. But for a short demonstration, a short explanation, It's incredibly simply played. Both players start with 6 wells or 6 pots in front of them. They are arrayed horizontally in 2 rows. So there's 1 row of pots for the northern player and 1 row towards the southern player. And each pot will start with 4 seeds inside them. So there are 24 seeds on your side, 24 seeds on your opponent's, 48 seeds in total. And the game is all about capturing as many seeds as possible. If you capture more than half of the seeds available in the game, then you win. So the magic number that we'll be looking for is 25. You must be wondering now, what? Well, all right, so how do we capture seeds? The game progresses really simply. You pick a pot on your side of the board. So one of your 6 pots, you pick it. And it has to have, you take up all the seeds from that pot. So if there are 3 seeds, you pick up all 3. If there are 5, you pick up all 5. And then moving in a counterclockwise direction, you sow the seeds one at a time in each of the pots remaining either in your side or across your opponent's side. If at any stage you add a seed or a stone to a pot, and that brings the total number of seeds in that pot to 2 or 3, you capture those seeds and put them in your seed bank for later. So the whole game is this it's a fantastically quick game. The whole game is this idea about deep strategic thinking. If I give you this 1 seed now, can I capture more of your seeds later? How do we think moves in advance? It's one of the oldest board games that we know, and one of the most widely played for this reason. This idea of being able to outmaneuver and trick and finagle and bluff your opponent through calculation. And it's actually quite exciting for me to be able to have Seth who'll be joining in quickly to help us break down how some of the top players understand this game. You might already, from listening to my description, you might already have inklings in your brain that it seems kind of like a whole bunch of other games, and that's true. The heart of this game is that it is easy to learn. It's a very simple mechanic, but extraordinarily deep to play. So I think that there are, again, especially in the beginning, we're going to learn a whole bunch about how these top players think about Aware. It's also super exciting to me, the cultural significance of Aware, which is something which a lot of games do not have. This deep connection with the communities in which they've grown up. The fact that you don't need all of these like fancy, that it's a cheap game to play. Cheap game to set up. You don't have to go to a board gaming store and spend £60 to buy a set of Aware. You can go outside and scratch it in your dirt. The fact that it has been given 50 million different names in 50 million different languages also speaks to its global outreach. And yet, certainly for me, before I began my research into the game, I knew very little about it. We're just about a couple of minutes away from registration starting, and there we have it. We actually have, we've actually just started gameplay now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hop right into a game now, and when Seth is ready, he will join me. He's still helping a few players get sorted. Let me spotlight this. All right. So I'll take away this little caption down the bottom. So this is the game. We have our 6 pods from the north and 6 pods from the south, and we have this is the Play OK interface. Seating in player 1 is Aina Jack, and player 2 Serikakteyev. I hope that I do not. I hope that I don't mispronounce them. So I don't know who's playing which. I'm assuming that Aina Jack is playing from the northern position, and that Serika, I'm just going to call him Serakak is playing from the southern stones. It currently looks like Aina Jack is in the lead at the moment with 3 captured stones, and where the timer is on Aina Jack. So Aina Jack needs to pick one of their wells, one of their stones, one of their wells with stones in it from 1 to 6. Pick those up and then move them. So, all right, it looks like okay. So the gameplay is moving on at a really fast rate. And of course, the game doesn't require you to. It's one of the reasons why it might seem a little bit jumpy is players they simply choose one of the wells, and then the game will automatically move those stones for you. So just then, all of these stones are in the northern position. Oh wow, very exciting! those northern position stones are ripe for capture here. You might notice that both players are banking a whole bunch of stones. Both have one pit with a lot of stones in them. Having stones in hand is very important. Having stones that are on either 1 or 2 is dangerous because it means that you're able to be captured. So you see that the little red squares shows the last player's move, which is that Serakak took those 2 stones and moved them across. And we've just seen the same thing happen across the top. All players moving ahead really quickly here. I'm assuming that one of the 4s in the northern. So I'm going to count stones from the left to right. So in that series of play, which was really quite fast, Einajak moved 1 stone to his 14, and then Serakak did the same thing. Okay, we've had our very first break. So that's a large number of stones. That is Serakak's 9 stone, I believe it was. Yes, that was his largest stone. It was 11. See all of those little 1 seeds, all those 1 stone pots. They are what is going to be targeted now, and it's currently on. We're currently on Serakak. I'd be surprised if he doesn't pick up the 3. I think picking up the 3. So in the 6th pot, he's going to pick that up and hopefully score 2 stones here. But now he's certainly calculating what happens to me after he does that, and it looks like the 5. So Einajak's number 1 position 5 is going to be capturing 3 stones as well. So Serakak is calculating he'll be. I'd assume here that Serakak is going to be capturing at least 2 stones here. If not, the other decision is whether to pick up the 11 stack, and I think it's a little bit premature there. Okay, very quick. Super quick. It looks like our players are from Russia. That's really exciting. All right. One moment, I'm going to be inviting our good friend Seth back into it. Hello there, Seth. Welcome to the stream.
Hi there, Chris. Thanks everyone for actually having patience with me. I just had to help a few people from being observers to players. Looks like exciting things are going on.
We have a lot of things. The action is fast paced, and I am very excited to have you join us to help break down some of the action here. Seth, of course, is the president of the Awaria Society here in London. Seth, can you see the board that we currently have set up between Einajak and Serakak?
Yes, I can. I know both players. They're both from Kazakhstan, so you are right. They're Russian speakers. Serakak is probably the best Awaria player in Kazakhstan.
Wow.
So he's one of the favorites for this tournament.
We currently have a seed score of 5 to Einajak and 3 to Serakak, and we're currently on Einajak's turn, and I believe Einajak is playing from the northern position here as player 1. Can you tell me how do you think that any particular player has an advantage? Is it, for example, an advantage that Einajak has a 10 stone pot and a 9 stone pot, where Serakak only has a 5 and a 6?
It is an advantage, but it all depends on basically how she moves the seeds that she's got. An advantage can easily turn into disadvantage, based on how you actually move the seeds.
So we've just seen Serakak from the southern position move 5 seeds.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so we should still be on, but the reply was instant. I didn't actually see Einajak's instant reply. We're currently on Serakak's turn here, and it looks like they've moved. Oh, excuse me. It looked like I think that I've got the other way around.
That's right, exactly. Yeah. So
Serakak.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. So Serakak is playing from the northern position, and Einajak's down the bottom. I was worried about that for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely got an advantageous position at the moment, which is to be expected, to be honest.
So tell me more about this advantage. This idea that having seeds in hand, having high numbers of seeds in your pots in hand is an advantage. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so basically you've got more room to maneuver, more room to actually set up, traps, more room to actually build up crews, which is basically the pot you see with 12. If you've got, 11 or more, you'll be able to circumnavigate the whole board and come back around and capture seeds from the other person's side. So you just got more options, basically, if you've got more moves in hand.
So it looks like there's a lot of consolidating moves happening here where players are choosing their little 1 stones and putting them into their large pots. Can you tell me why would they choose to do that?
That is actually maximizing your moves in hand. But that's what it's all about. Sometimes they'll even sacrifice certain seeds to be able to continue to do that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You've got a phone. There we go, Seth. Looks like...
Yeah.
Please go on. Off you go.
Yeah,
for those of you at home who don't realize, Seth is I'm actually going to put you on mute there, please, Seth.
That's all right. Carry on. That's fine. Carry
All
on.
right.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Seth is also the tournament organizer for this event, and he's actually known in he's quite well known in the international OYREC community, which is large and vibrant. Okay, there's a lot of action that's just happened while we took our eyes off the board.
That's right. Yeah.
Jack currently has a lead of 2 stones.
That's right. No, sorry. Yes, that's right. She's got 9 stones at the moment. But that's going to be easily reversed very soon because she's not in a very good position at the moment at all.
Why do you say that?
Because you see that one seed that's in basically that house over there.
The third house,
that's
southern,
right, exactly, yeah.
south or north?
Yeah, she's gonna take it. She might take that 2. She just did, and then he's gonna move that 1. Keep on going down to the end, and he's got more moves in hand. So when she moves that 11. He's going to position some... Oh, she made a very good move because she neutralized it. Beginners, what they do is that they go to the last, move that they can make. Then they distribute, the big seeds. But she was very wise in making that move there because she limited her losses. Yeah.
Okay, so Sarakak playing from the northern position.
Right.
Now it's an eating... It looks like an eating frenzy now. Now everyone's going to try to take advantage.
Right, exactly,
it's not.
Yeah. No. Well, what he's going to do... That house you see with 15 seeds in there, he's going to build it up and circumnavigate the whole board and come back and capture a whole heap of seeds from her side. And she's trying to position herself to actually counter that with a 4 in there. She's going to put another one there to try and capture 6 seeds when he does that. In fact, 9 seeds when he does that. So let's see what happens.
So the idea that you had before, this idea of having moves in hand, is actually one of the key concepts of OYREC.
It is. Yeah.
So here, Ina Jack playing from the southern position. She's limited before she has to send those seeds over to her opponent. She has what's that? 3. It looks like she's only got 4 moves in hand.
That's right, exactly, yeah.
As opposed to Sarakak Tayyab, who can
1, 2, 3, 4,
1, 2, 3,
6
4.
actually. 6.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, counting moves is, I think, one of the things that that these higher OYREC champions will certainly have a better grasp on than myself. But that idea then of being able to count how many moves you've got before you have to make a move, before you have to distribute a large stone.
That's right. Exactly.
Fascinating stuff. Sorry, Seth, off you go.
Go on. I was going to say, what's going to happen? That 17 seeds that he's got there, if he puts 2 more in there, he'll be able to actually capture up to the 5th house, which we call the neck, and actually claim about 10 seeds, basically. And that will more or less finish the game.
So do you think that there's anything... Oh, and there we go.
Yeah, exactly. That's it, yeah.
So the image on playok.com, Seth, does that simply show the last player's moves?
Yes, the white. In the, highlighted in the white.
No, I'm talking about the stones with a red square in the center. Does that simply show the last player's moves? The last distribution, last move.
Yeah, it looks like it. That's right, it does. That's right, exactly. And I think if you look at the names, look on top of the name, that you see a number there and an arrow. That shows whose move it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was actually using the. I'm an old chess player.
So there you go. Sarakak Tayyab has won that game.
There we go. That was actually a fantastic.
Yeah. We can move on to another one. Yeah.
Yes, we certainly can, and we certainly will. Let's get out of here. And we'll move on back to tournament. We'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
We'll move on to board.
It's such a pity that some of the players actually they couldn't actually get out. Look at that. There's a whole heap of players who basically are observers because they just inadvertently clicked no instead of yes.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And in fact, the phone call I got was a player from Ghana who was the favorite. There's no 2 ways about it. If you take Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about automatic pairing.
Well, this is certainly something that we'll be looking to work on moving forward. One of the difficulties that we've had to deal with is that PlayOK only allowed a 15-minute registration window before our tournament began.
Too small a window.
Yeah. So we'll certainly have a chat with our friends, our partners over at PlayOK to make sure that the experience next year is even better. But really, the fundamental aspect of this tournament is to simply get the word out and to help these players play. So the fact that they can't play this tournament, hopefully will serve a greater purpose and allow us to run an even better tournament next year.
That's right, exactly. That's right. Definitely.
So it seems like the northern player here has a massive advantage, again, along the same concepts as the one that we just watched.
At the moment?
I'm currently on table 4, so if you want to, check out the restream, Yeah, not a
see,
problem. Seth, if you join us on the, if you click through the restream video,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
see exactly what I've got on,
Yeah. Okay, so you got
exactly what I've got on ViewFact at home.
Cezor's a French player, who basically, what do you call it, came via Play OK. He's quite an experienced player, actually. I would say, not one of the favorites, but he could pull some surprises.
Seeing that distribution of 9,
Here we go.
it looks like I would imagine that Korean players from South Korea.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, and Cezor's got the advantage now because he's got basically more moves in hands, and he's just going to set up traps and just capture seeds, just whittle him down. So let's see what move he makes right now.
A little bit more about here when the North.
Yeah, I thought so. He'd probably make that. Yeah. Are you still there? You're bouncing. All right. Probably got too many things open. Chris? Oh. You're in the show. Can you hear me, Chris? Cezor wins. What was Robert saying? Nah? Did you talk to Robert? It went off. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Where's my phone gone? Yeah, he was the favorite, but Charlie, two of them, the guy from Benin and him. Okay. Let me leave and come back in.
He called you on his mobile.
I know. Hi, Chris.
Hey, I'm working to bring this back.
Okay, all right. Should I leave or should I just stay in there? Yep.
Yeah. Well, the stream's off. Leave. I'm gonna send you another link soon.
Okay, all right, great.
Baba do. Aha, we're back. a little technique, which I hope to have sorted. Let's dive, and we'll wait for Seth to read us, which should, let me take a moment here to send him this invitation link again. Action once more. Here, in round 2 of 7. South is number 2. It looks like 2 Koreans. And Hee Jang from the top. It looks like excuse me, that 4 moved across first. I would expect that these seeds are going to be recalibrated. Will consolidate. Chen Hee Jang, the player in the southern position, has the only of doesn't have a lot of great options. Over to the 6. Yeah, and it looks like the capture rules are slightly different here. Oh, here we go. Has gone with that big transition right there. It looks like our good friend Seth is having a little bit of difficulty coming back. We'll wait for him to come back. All right. So I think I spoke too soon. It looks like the positions have reversed quite quickly with the decision of the northern player to distribute their large number of seeds, their seed bank, quite quickly from their home or from their well. It's a very tight game here with only a 3 seed deficit. Of course, the winner hitting the first one to hit 25 seeds captured, and we currently have the northern player on 13 to 8. Looks like our northern player has a few safe moves left. That 4 in the, so I'm going to count notation. In terms of notation, I'm going to count from the northern left to right, seed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Similarly, south 1 to 6 from left to right. So I'd expect a redistribution of that 5. Oh no, excuse me. I'd expect those 1s to make their slow march towards the northern 1 pot. Now it looks like the southern player has no option but to go with their 9 seed, which we'll see. We'll see a few captures, exactly as we saw that distribution of the 9 seed. And now we have and now it's all over bar the shouting. It looks like the player in the north seed, Hound Brain, is simply going to mop this up. Distribution of that 9. And there's very little that Chen Hee Jang can do to stop this 6 next. Well, actually, the 6 doesn't have to move now; it can move later. From capturing the rest of these seeds. So what we see now is both players seem to be consolidating their seed positions, and you'll notice that no movement will be had until Hound Brain needs to, the northern position needs to, because really all the tension revolves around when I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Hound Brain. When Hound Brain chooses to distribute that large store of 8 seeds, and similarly, now Chen Hee Jang, the southern, must. That was actually a forced move. There was no option but to move that 5. And Chen Hee Jang will now need to. All the stones are in Hound Brain's control, and they can really make the decision. They don't have to move just yet. There we did, because Houndbrain wanted to give Chan Hee-jang the option to make moves, and the lead is steadily growing, 23 to 16. 2 more seeds are captured by Houndbrain, and there will be the win. And this question earlier that Seth mentioned about having moves in hand, we are seeing that happen right now. The Southern player simply has fewer moves in hand remaining than Houndbrain, and will need to distribute their seeds over to Chan Hee-jang without captures, which will then unfortunately give Houndbrain all of the. I'm still in two minds about whether I'm pronouncing that correctly. Please, angry comments in the YouTube sections below to let me know how badly I butchered these names. But this is exactly what we're seeing now. All right, 2 more stones. These moves are all. I wonder actually. These moves all seem to be fairly forced. This idea of consolidating now, which we're seeing. That should hopefully lead to the final captures. It should take a while, but I do believe that Houndbrain will eventually take the win here. So the best that and that move was forced, by the way, of the 2 stones in pod 4. Because you didn't want to allow the Southern player from being able to capture any of your stones. All right. There we have a couple of captures. Chan Hee-jang, our Southern player. Doing quite a good job. Oh, here we go. Here's my good friend, Seth. Hello there, Seth.
Hi there, back in. Yes.
Apologies for that confusion there. We seem to be nearing the end game here between two Korean players, a name that I've been butchering all this time without you, Houndbrain and Chan Hee-jang.
That's right. You're doing a good job. North is going to capture the rest of the seeds.
Yes, it certainly looks like that. Can you, for our viewers at home, Seth, could you talk to us a little bit more about the capture rules?
You capture by making a 2 and 3 on the opponent's side of your last seed. If the preceding houses have got a combination of 2s and 3s in an unbroken sequence, you capture those as well. But there is one exception. If you make a move that ends up actually filling all the houses on the opponent's side with 2s and 3s in any combination, and it would actually result in the other player having no seeds to play with, you cannot capture any seeds.
Ah, that is a very interesting point of view here. Yep. Thank you so much for letting us know. So, just for you back home, you want to finish your turn. You want to finish your turn in your opponent's house.
That's right.
With either 2 or 3 seeds,
That's
and
right.
you'll capture those seeds.
That's right.
If there are multiple seeds in which you have 2 or 3 seeds that are linked together, you'll capture those seeds as well.
That's
so you
right.
can have these really big swingy turns. Now, we're commentating now on table 2 with your good friend Sarah Kakteev versus isometry.
That's right. Yeah.
Isometry.
That's right.
That sounds suspiciously like a maths term.
It certainly is. No doubt about it.
It looks like the Southern player here has a massive advantage in terms of the number of seeds under their control.
They've got the moves in the hands,
and we've just seen them use all those moves.
That's right. So
the Southern player.
Yeah.
The Southern player is Sarah Kakteev.
Sarah Kakteev, that's right, exactly. Yeah. No doubt about that. It's just gonna basically whittle him down now. Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's possible.
No, isometry is South, because they just captured. No, sorry, Serik. He captured 2 seeds, so he got 22. Yeah, sorry, he had 20. Yeah.
It seems like it's very difficult now to stop the Southern player from just banking seeds and then taking their leisure.
Near to impossible. He's gonna move that 1 seed in the middle to try and neutralize that capture. Yeah, that's it. But he's gonna move the 1. That's another trap.
Can you tell me a little bit more, Seth, about this idea? What happens when you simply don't have any moves left to make?
If the other person can make a move that will give you seeds, they have to.
Aha.
Yeah, it's a must.
And what if I don't want to? What if I throw a tantrum?
Well, I tell you what, in some variants of the game, it is compulsory to do so. In fact, you have to actually make moves such that the other person always has seeds to play. Otherwise, you're penalized.
So this feeling of sharing and sharing alike,
That's right, exactly.
it certainly seems to be a big part of this game. This idea
That's
of
right.
I give you seeds, you give me seeds.
That's right. It's a part of the ethos of the game. That's right. Yeah.
Is there some significance to the fact that we're playing with seeds?
Well, the thing is that the game was, I guess, originated in a agrarian society. So therefore, you got seeds, you got houses, you got. In some parts of the world, they refer to some of the houses as cows and other animals and so forth. Yeah.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
We've just hopped into another game here in round 2, which is happening really quite quickly. For those of you at home who are having a little bit of trouble following along with the games, it's a very fast play style. When you're playing live over the board, you will actually have to make a lot of the game actions that the computer is automating. So you'd have to pick up the seeds and then sow them in a counterclockwise direction yourself.
That's right, exactly. And
But the computer's just moving ahead.
That's right. And some players have developed such a flair in actually moving those seeds that they can flick them and they will just drop into the seeds that they need to go into. It's an art form in itself, entertainment to watch.
Ah.
Yeah, especially players from Ghana, Cape Verde. Yeah, they're experts at flicking the seeds. Yeah.
Style. Whoever
right,
said that
exactly,
style only belonged to sportsmen?
Yeah.
Board gamers have some style also.
That's right, exactly. That's what makes it so entertaining because usually in a traditional sense you get a group of people gathered around different boards of seeing people play. Yeah. Okay, it looks like that game's done and who's won? Player 1, Kaduma won. Yeah, well done, Kaduma. Yeah. Okay.
I think we'll just for a little while we'll turn this guy off and we'll wait for the end of round 3. There we go for our viewers at home. That is
Hi there.
that is the beauty. That is Mr. Seth Bonti Asmoa, the Oware president here in the United Kingdom. And there I am. Hello. We're just going to be waiting for the while we wait for the start of our third round today.
3. That's right. Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit more, Seth, about how many rounds we have total and what what we expect from our finalists?
Okay, so obviously, the platform uses the Swiss system. We have 7 rounds, which is more or less standard, for Swiss system tournaments. You could actually fit 7 rounds in a day, and but usually when we're actually playing physically, we play a match of 3. But because it's a computer, it's actually just 1 game per match, and so what will happen is that the winners will actually meet the winners in each round. And the losers will actually play the losers. So eventually, by the 6th, 7th round, you will actually get the strongest player playing each other, basically. Yeah.
Ideally, things happen. Actually, I want to talk about that. Will the strongest Oware player always win?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
At that level, it's very psychological.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah.
How can it be psychological?
Yeah, it's a very fine balance. How you feel on the day. Things can just distract you. It's just like any sport. If basically you're at the top of your game, who will win actually just depends on actually who's the best on that day. Basically.
And what are the kinds of skills that will allow you to gain an edge in this kind of fast-paced, really quick tournament?
First of all, memory. Because a lot of these grandmaster players, they've actually more or less in their career probably played close to most of the combinations that there are possible on the board. So basically, memorizing and also knowing your opponent. Being able to anticipate what your opponent is actually basically going to do. That's what gives you the edge, basically. So...
That's actually a really important and really interesting question that I've got for you now, which is this idea that there are only so many board combinations. There's only so many things that you can do. There are only so many stones.
Yeah.
How close is Oware to being solved? Is it solvable by computers?
Well, I tell you what, there was, I think in 2002, there was a Dr. Romien from the University of Amsterdam. And he actually cracked it using a combination of computers and processors. But the rules varied slightly from Oware that is used for tournaments. So his version, you are able to actually basically, because you can get into a vicious cycling situation whereby you've got an odd number of seeds and you can keep on going round and round and you can't resolve it. So the way he actually got around solving that was actually just split a seed, so you could have 22 and a half seeds, which is not practical, which is not done in the real game. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So it's not been solved yet, so far as I'm aware. Yeah.
Okay, so there is still a lot. There's still room for the top players to innovate and create their own style. You spoke a little bit before about knowing your opponent. What are some examples where knowing your opponent can give you an advantage here in Aware?
Well, for instance, especially if you're playing, even if you're playing somebody of equal strength, if you know their style, some players, they like to just capture a few seeds at a time to build up to 25. Some players, they like to build up a crew that is a big pot to be able to circumnavigate the board and actually capture a whole heap of seeds. If you know their style, then you'll be able to actually counter it, basically. Especially if you're playing somebody who is weaker than you, then you can also actually take liberties because you know that there are certain things that they're not going to do. You understand? So, knowing your opponent is very important. And then also what gives people an edge is the end game. A lot of people don't master the end game. The end game actually decides about 80% of the games, basically. So if you can master the end game, then you're away. Yeah, you got an advantage.
Are there certain numbers of stones which are more powerful? You mentioned circumnavigating the board and having enough stones to be able to do that. Are there certain numbers of stones which are where it's more dangerous, or certain stones where it's more powerful? Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Well, I mean, basically, you need 12 or more seeds to actually basically circumnavigate the whole board and capture a seed from the other person's side. So you're looking between 12 and 16. Starting from house 6, the notation that you used. Yeah. So if you've got, 12 in house 6, you can actually capture a seed from the other person's side. If you've got 16, you can capture from 5 houses from the other person's side, so long as they don't block it. Yeah. So the maximum you can actually capture in one move is actually 15 seeds. Yeah. But, you're looking at between 12 and 16. But, there is no real, magic or powerful number. It's mathematics, basically. You just got to actually know exactly where it's going to land, and if there's any, basically, blocks to you capturing, basically. Yeah.
Very exciting stuff. Now it looks like we're just heading into round 3. So I'm actually we've just had about 30 seconds of play. So we'll come back to this in a little while. Yeah. But for all of our viewers at home, this is our top table at the moment. Yeah. We have Ji-hee Bak and Chan-hee Jang. It looks like Ji-hee Bak is sitting in our southern spot, and number 2, Chan-hee Jang is in the northern, playing from the northern position here. Can you tell me, does any player have an advantage immediately? I see that Chan-hee Jang, the northern player, has 2 stones captured.
At the moment, Ji-hee Bak has got 3, Chan-hee Ji has got 2. At the moment, it looks like North has got the advantage. I think that's Chan-hee Jang. No, sorry.
A lot more stones. Stones.
2 is always south. 2 is always... No, hold on. 2 is... Yeah, 2
is
always
always south.
Yeah. No, hold on. Let me see. Let's move down there. No, sorry. 1 is south and 2 is north, basically.
That's what I figured out as well, but it is a little bit confusing. I do have to admit for our viewers. So 1 is always south and 2 is always north. So 1, the southern player is always us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Ji-hee Bak is south, basically.
So it looks like from the southern perspective, we don't have a lot of stones to be able to move and maneuver. And you spoke about having a large crew. North has that 10 and that 13. It looks
13, that's right. But Ji-hee Bak has actually got the advantage, has got the moves in hands as well. Yeah, so you see now, Chan-hee Ji basically can only make a move onto the Ji-hee Bak side.
Which we just saw.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we just saw. Now, frequently we see this idea where players will try to disconnect their seeds by creating little gaps, just as we saw
That's
then
right.
from the north. Can you tell me more about that? Why do they do that?
That actually prevents multiple
So
captures from multiple houses on your side happening.
so that's North 5, by the way. So the
Yeah.
North, so the Northern 5 pot. Actually,
That's
I think it might be easier for our viewers at home if we just simply speak about their players North and South, and then talk about it at the end later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what that does, it prevents multiple captures taking place on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, especially for beginners, that's always the safe thing to do. Yeah. Never leave gaps, 2, 3 gaps, on
That's
your side.
that's a big distribution from the North. That was a 13, I believe.
I think that was also a new, what do you call it, a safety move as well.
Tell me more about that. Why is it safe? Why was it safety to do it then?
To prevent more seeds being captured later on, basically,
Uh-huh.
and to maintain your moves in hand. Because you see now, basically, North has got actually a lot more moves in hand. So what they're
Then
trying to
South.
do is build up the house with 9 seeds in it.
The big old crew.
That's
This
right,
juggernaut
exactly, yeah.
idea.
That's right, exactly. But unfortunately, they haven't got enough moves in hand. It doesn't look like it. No.
So it looks like the North 5 pot, that one seed is going to make its way to join the 11.
That's right, exactly. They have got
And
enough
then
moves in hand.
it looks like the South guy is doing
Yeah.
the same thing. South 5 to
That's right.
will South move those seeds? No,
Yeah.
they decided to go with their big.
That's right, exactly. In order to actually try and prevent a greater loss later on down the line.
I think so the way that I understand that, the Southern player had to go with their big lot of seeds. I think it was 11 seeds,
That's
because
right.
their other alternative was to move 2 seeds over to the northern side.
And
So if
that
you're going to lose control of seeds anyway, you may as well do it while you have other options.
More control, that's right, exactly. And now they've neutralized that 14 over there. 11, 12, 13, 14. You see they've put a 1 in there.
Why is it neutralized?
Because he's going to capture 2 seeds. But what happened, if he didn't put that 2 in there, he would have captured about 6 seeds.
Aha.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So,
see. This is what
you
you said before.
Circumnavigate, that's right, exactly, yeah.
Ah, and this is what you said earlier about playing in such a way to disconnect your seed houses, which is
That's
what
right.
both players are very much aware of here.
That's right, exactly.
So what is the threat from South? Because I think it's South to move here.
Yeah, at the moment, there is no threat from South. I mean, South can actually build up that crew, which they are doing at the moment.
The 7 crew,
The 7, that's right,
the
exactly,
South,
yeah.
the southern side, the 6th pot.
That's right. They're going to attempt to build up a crew at the moment, but North has got more potential of doing that. But let's see what happens. Let's see who blinks first.
I'm imagining that the South 2 pot, the one with 4 seeds in it, will be played sometime after this last seed is consolidated by South.
So look, if it's
There we
a
go.
threat, he will move it. Yeah, if it's a threat, they will move it. Yeah, okay. They've even moved it before it became at threat.
So it looks like
that's-
the. Can I ask why didn't? Oh, can you capture any stones if you don't end your movement on your opponent's turn? Is it possible to capture your opponent's stones if I finish my movement on my turn?
No, it's not possible.
Okay,
Has
so I
land
have to
on the
finish.
house. That's right.
I
on the
have
opponent's
to
side.
land on my opponent's house,
That's
and
right,
then I
exactly,
count
yeah.
backwards from that house to see if there are other
That's it.
houses with also 2 or 3.
That's right, exactly. Just on the opponent's side.
This
Now,
game is a lot
North-
deeper than I assumed.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's got many levels, many levels.
So it looks like we're nearing the end game with
Yeah.
with our northern player on 21 stones captured and our southern on
right.
our southern player with 21 stones captured and our northern
That's right.
player with 17.
17, that's right, exactly. But let me see, okay, South has got, yeah, I think North has got a chance of winning. Because North has got more moves in hand. So he's going to move that, yeah, that's right. You have to move the 3. There's no option.
The 3, it's a forced
That's
move.
right. Yes, yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah, you have to move the 3, and then he's going to move the 2 out of the way. Then he
He has to move the 1.
Has to move the 1.
Has to move.
Then
Yep.
he'll move the 1 at the end. Yeah. Oh,
Or the
really?
4.
That's surprising.
Why this?
Why did he do that? You see, this is what I mean by end game. if your end game is not strong, you could actually turn an advantageous position.
Well,
into
it looks
loss.
like the better move would have been to move the one
That's
stone
right,
from
exactly.
from
That's
north
right,
from north
exactly.
one,
Yep.
and then you're kind of giving the only option then is south to just move that one stone
That's it,
over and
exactly.
over.
And then capture it when he basically gets to the third house. Yeah.
But they've got. Well, I suppose this is anyone's game. This 2-stone lead that South has.
It is. It's not decided at the moment.
It's not decided.
Yes, yeah, that's right, not decided. But North is still in an advantageous position. Let's see what
Neither player
happens.
can. It seems like neither player can capture a stone at the moment. But
Well,
it's
South did. They captured, remember, from 19 to 21. So let's see what happens.
no, as in on this board state, it doesn't
this
look
board
like
state.
it takes.
But
It's
they
going
will.
to take a while.
It's going to take a while, but they will. They will eventually.
Now the South player seems to. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Has the South player got a massive advantage now?
Yes, because they got more moves in hand. But it all depends on how they move their seeds. You see, this is the thing.
Do you think that that mistake of that? Is it clear?
Might
Is it
come back
clear
to
that
haunt them.
movement,
That's right. Yeah.
that four
Definitely.
seed movement,
That's
was
right.
that clearly a mistake?
I believe so.
Okay. Much like other abstract games like Go, it seems like that there's a lot more room for interpretation of whether a move is good or not based on the
Yes.
context of the other moves around it.
That's right, exactly. But the thing is, end game is actually something that is at times difficult to master. So sometimes, especially when you see grandmasters playing, they make moves that you don't understand, but it's because they're positioning to actually basically win. That's why they make unorthodox moves to beginner or a layperson.
Yeah. So South has just did South just did what we
seeds.
thought.
Yeah,
But by giving one, South just had the opportunity a little while ago of sending one stone or more to the northern camp and chose to send one. And now it looks like it could still be anybody's game.
I believe South is gonna win because you see what's happening. They got themselves into what we call North has got more moves in hand. So let's see what happens because
It seems very similar in terms
if
of
it
moves
keeps-
in hand.
Yeah, if it goes into a vicious cycling mode, that is, they both make the same moves to actually maintain the moves seeds on their side.
Yeah.
What the platform does is that it allows you to do that 3 times, then it distributes the seeds between the 2 players.
So both players will get 3 seeds,
That's
meaning
right,
that G
yeah.
Key back will end up with 26 seeds required
That's
to
right,
win the
yeah,
game.
Yeah, but you see, if he makes a mistake now, okay, that's good. He's made a good move. That's it. So basically, he's gonna win. Yeah. So now,
Yes.
and that's it. That's done.
So this means that the southern player is
Yeah.
likely going to win. G Key back. Whoa.
Okay, no. It's reverse. We're getting this the wrong way around.
We are getting this the wrong way around.
Yeah.
But no, well, we aren't. I am. I'm getting this one wrong way around. You're keeping me straight and on track. So our
Okay.
southern player,
So
Chan Hee Jang.
yeah, that's right. Exactly. Let's have a look. If it's Jihi Back's turn, Jihi Back's move. Yeah, Chan Hee Jang's gonna win. Just move that one into from 4th to the 5th, 3rd house to the 4th house, and then that's it.
Is that a face? I think that's an emoji.
Yeah, it's an emoji. That's right. Yeah,
Is that concession? Is that GG? Or is that just a face?
that's Jihi Back. Yeah, Jihi Back. Chan Hee Jang wins. That's right.
Chan Hee Jang wins!
Yeah, because they maintain the 4 seeds on their side. Yeah.
What a thrilling... for those of us at home, can you explain more about why player 2 simply wins?
Well, you see, to begin with, remember when we're discussing the vicious cycling, going round and round the board.
Yes.
And I said that Chan Hee Jang had the moves in hand. They had, more moves to make than, Jihi Back did. And
Yes.
so he or she maintained that. And eventually, basically, what's happened is that they've been able to maintain all the seeds on their side. And so therefore, they take the rest of the seeds.
So they split the seeds, you mean?
No. Chan Hee Jang has got 4 seeds on their side. So they take the rest of the seeds.
So in the event where the game doesn't progress, you take all the seeds that
That's
are on
right.
your side, and your opponent takes all the seeds on their side.
That's right. Well, we see in this case, what happens is, at the moment, if you look at the board state at the moment,
Yeah.
there are 4 seeds on Chang Hee-jan's side. But Chang Hee-jan can't make a move to actually give Ji back any seeds. So therefore, the rest of the seeds belong to Chang Hee-jan.
Isn't that an interesting way to have a tiebreaker?
Yeah, simple.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Let's look at what else is there.
A much deeper game than I certainly anticipated right from the start. So
Exactly.
we have our board one. Let's get into this one. Camilla 13. Oh,
You can look at Camilla, or you can.
no, the game's over. The game's over.
Okay, Kostin. Go to Kostin and Akash at AKS81.
Kostin and Nakash.
That's right. So Akash is actually AKS81. Is actually the he was the bronze medalist in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, was he bronze medalist in 2019? I believe so. Yeah, 2019. Yeah, as well. Yeah, Akash. That's right. Exactly. Yeah, one of our students. And Kostin is a player from Belarus. Yeah.
Our hearts go out to our fellow friends in Belarus.
That's
Democracy
right.
forever.
Yeah, say that again. Say that again.
I hope I don't get in trouble over that. Yeah. Please, angry comments only in the YouTube below. Please let us know how angry that makes you if you're a supporter of Russia. Okay, here we go. So we're in this position where the southern player must give some stones to the northern player now.
Exactly. They got 2 options: either move the 5 or move the 2. Yeah.
And it looks like the southern player has a severe advantage here.
Yeah. Well, they haven't got an advantage because, basically they got the moves in hand. So depending on how they move them, Akash only needs 2 to win. And the number of moves that he's got is enough to actually get him those 2 seeds.
So right now, would it make sense to say that both players are playing for this end game where neither player can make a move and they get to redistribute the seeds that belong to them? Is that something that both players are looking for now?
At the moment, South has got the advantage because they got more moves in hand. So what he or she's got to do, or he in this case, what he's got to do is actually basically set up traps.
Control it.
Capture seeds, that's right, exactly. But the way he's done it right now is such that basically he's given, AKS 180 too many seeds. Yeah, giving 2. So he's going to take that, and then that'll be it. There are so
many times in Awara where you are forced to make certain moves because you only have limited options.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, you're compelled to, or you feel you're compelled to.
I mean, the game rules compel you, right?
That's right, exactly. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So, is there anything stopping Akash here from Akash has to give at least 1 stone over eventually,
that's
right?
Now
he's got to give the 1 stone now,
and that's it.
Or 2.
1. That's right. That's done.
Why? Why did Akash win?
Because what he did was he actually basically he had 2 in house 5 and 1 in house 6.
Yes.
So what he did is he moved the 2 into basically, his house 6 and 1 seed in house 1 from South. And so when South moved from house 1 to house 2, Akash had 2 seeds in house 6 and captured it and won the game.
And that gave the 25 seeds required to get over the halfway point, and therefore he won. Fantastic.
Right, yeah.
What a great illustration of end game technique.
An interesting game to watch is Kabrilnik and Sirik Akteev.
Kabrilnik.
Yeah. Here
we go. Come on, Kabrilnik.
That's right.
Kabrilnik.
At the moment, these 2 are probably the favorites.
We've been watching a number of Sarakiteev's games, and here
this is the second one, and he's won.
Oh,
yeah.
And there we go. Sarakiteev has just won.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
We're learning a lot about how to play the end game in Awara. For those of you back home, if you're interested in if this game piques your interest, if you're excited about trying out some of these new Awara tips and tricks as given to us to you by Seth and some of these high level players, please feel free to either join us on playerok.com or register for our tournament next year and see if you can take down some of these super high champions. You've got a whole year to start training. You can call Seth up, and Seth will give you his top tips. You can go join his Awara Society. Where are you located, Seth?
Well, we're in London, and every month we actually, when things get back to normal, We usually meet every month at the Rich Mix, every third Sunday of the month to actually play and practice. But you can also do so online on, Play OK, and also ludoteca.com as well. Every Wednesday, there's a tournament on ludoteca.com. You always find players there, as well as here on Play OK. Every Saturday, we schedule a practice tournament, so you can take part in that as well. And in future, we'll be actually scheduling monthly tournaments for, different categories of players. Yeah. So there's always something to do.
Like if I don't know anything about Aware, can I turn up and really just play with people?
That's right, exactly. Yeah, turn up, play with people, teach you how to play. Yeah, sure.
You mentioned Rich Mix. It's close to a train station, huh?
Shoreditch High Street. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it's a pretty funky building, the Rich Mix. They've got all kinds of.
It is, and it's a beautiful event because you've got live music. Got basically food. You've got the dancers taking care of the children, and we're there playing Aware as well. It's a beautiful,
fantastic.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a family day out, maybe check out the Aware Society to join one of their events.
At the Rich Mix, really
at the Rich Mix, the Rich Mix. Now that doesn't go just for that doesn't go just for the Aware tournament. The Mind Sports Olympiad at large is a collection of some of the best and strongest board games around the world across the month of August. By the end of it, after this next 10-day period, we will have hosted some over 90 different board gaming tournaments with 15 different world championships featuring some of the best players in their respective disciplines across the different board gaming world. Classics like Scrabble or Catan or Carcassonne, newer games like Battle Sheep or Cities and Knights. I guarantee you that if you've got a game, if there's a certain style of game that you enjoy playing, we'll likely have something that tickles your fancy. Now, I'm just about to head into round 4, which is just about to begun.
That's right, it's begun, yeah.
Let's have a look on table 1. Your good friend, Sarah Kakteev. This is how the game starts. Seth, can you take it away? Tell me, what will both players be looking at here? We've just seen Sarah Kakteev in position 1 immediately distribute their 4 from south. South. Is that common?
Well, for him, it might be. This is what I mean by, you have to know who you're playing. In this case, they don't know who they're playing. So the only thing you can do is respond to the other person's move with your best move you can make, basically. So let's see how it develops. But Serik, you've got to be very careful with him because, he's a very, experienced player, a quick learner. He's actually, apart from, a top Aware player, he's also a Grandmaster Tugus Kumalak player as well in Kazakhstan.
Bless you. I'm kidding. That's a terrible joke that I made. What was that? What was that other game that you mentioned?
It's called Tugus Kumalak. You will find it on Play OK as well. It's
fantastic.
They all belong to the Pit and Pebble classification of games. There's about 300 to 400 different versions. So he's one of the top players in Kazakhstan, basically.
Something that is common. Well, first of all, I have to apologize again for my terrible joke. Angry comments only. Yeah. It's actually quite common for a lot of these top players in these games to be quite strong at other disciplines and also to show their calculation skills in other games online. But back to this game now, Seth. Can you tell me who appears to have who appears to be in the advantage? Because it looks like Big Leah has an advantage of 6 stones to 4. Or does that matter? Are we still kind of even?
No. Serik has the advantage. Serik is south. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Serik has the advantage.
So the southern player Serik currently has 4 stones in hand.
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
On the scoreboard, but you say that they have the advantage. Is that simply because they've got more stones under their control?
Yes, and they've got more spaces to move them in. Yeah, more spaces to move because you see he's moved that 3. He's gonna move that 1. And then he's got the 4 he can move without spilling seeds into the other person's side.
So that's the distinction. You want to be able to move seeds without giving them to your opponent.
That's right, exactly. Because you move a seed into their house, they got more moves in hand, basically. So he's not. Even if Big Leah leaves that 1 there, Serik won't take it. You see, that's what's happened. They've left the 1. You see what happened? That's what happened.
Yes,
he's not going to take
because
it.
You mean so just then the northern player Big Leah could have taken the 8 stones in North 2 and distributed them, but it's too much of a risk.
No. You see, Serik could have taken that 1 seed with the 3 in South 6.
Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't, because that would actually give North more seeds to move, more rooms in hand.
So you're
Yeah.
speaking that could happen even right now. So the the 4 stones in South 6
Yeah.
could be used to capture that 1 stone in North 3.
He's not going to do so. Doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not going to do so.
I would expect
that would be a beginner's move.
Okay. I would expect the South player to consolidate their stones now, so the ones are going to go join that 15 to make a big old.
Yeah. And what's going to happen is that if he moves he's going to move the 10 eventually. He's going to have to.
Yes.
And Sarik is going to just basically wipe him out and get 12 seeds.
So, just for our listeners at home, and for me again, because I've forgotten already, can you tell me why is it that both players seem to be collecting all of their seeds in one bucket?
Well,
Why?
this is what you call building the crew, because you see, building the crew actually sucks seeds from the other parts of the board. So
There, we've just
them
seen the
out.
10.
Yeah, exactly.
We've just seen the 10.
And he's just taking the.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
3, 6, 8.
That's
That's a
what-
lot of
exactly.
stones.
Exactly.
So that's
Exactly what I
the
said.
so for those of us back home who are a little bit slower, can you explain a little bit more about what just happened there?
Right. So what happened was he had 15 seeds in that House 5, South 5. North moved, North 5. And so basically that put 17 seeds, in South 5. And Sarik actually moved them to actually capture from the 5 houses on North, basically. So that just wiped him out totally.
Filling each of those houses in
That's
the northern
right.
position with
Exactly.
2 or
With
3 stones,
That's right, exactly. So that's
capturing.
That's why
That was
they
like
built up that
13
crew.
stones in one go,
That's right,
wasn't
exactly.
it?
Yeah.
That was a lot of stones.
Another stones. That's right, exactly. Yeah, and that's the end of the game. Yeah.
And Sarik Ikteyev ended up moving their massive stone, their southern position stone, capturing a lot of seeds there,
Yeah.
enough for the win.
That's right.
Fantastic, extraordinary. Sarik Ikteyev not only winning handily, winning quickly, but winning with style
That's
in an
right,
illustrative
exactly,
way to demonstrate these concepts. Fantastic.
That's right.
Let's have a look at
exactly,
Chan Hee-jang. We've seen Chan Hee-jang play before, and our player,
Yep.
a good
And
friend Harrison.
He's playing Harrison. Harrison is a medium, level player, but he's also an Umweso Grandmaster from Uganda.
Ueso. What is
Umweso,
this game?
That's right. Umweso, Pit and Pebble games, you've got 3 categories. You've got 2 rows, Owari is 2 row. You've got 3 rows, predominantly played in Ethiopia. It's called Gebeta. And you've got 4 rows that's predominantly played in East Africa. You've got Bao, Igisoro, and you've got Umweso. Umweso is really played just in Uganda. And Harrison, he's basically a veteran of MSO tournaments, but he took part years ago. This was in 2002 and 2003, where he actually took part in the Umweso and the Owari championships. Yeah.
Incredible. So if you're interested in learning more about these Pit and Pebble games, please do have some fun joining them up, joining in at playok.com, or to check out our MSO schedule to see if we have any of these other games available. I don't think we do, actually. I think that we only play Owari here at the MSO.
That's right, exactly. I mean, in years past, like I said, in 2002, 2003, you did play Umweso. You may have played Bao. I can't remember. But I do know in 2006, on the schedule was Tugus Kumalak.
There's an extraordinarily rich, diverse history of games out there that a lot of Western players just don't know about. Can I ask you? Is there any special? Are there any reasons or any special times where these games would be played? Is this when? Are these harvest games? Are these games where people get together, where people from multiple tribes or villages traditionally would meet? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that it's played on a daily basis, from sunset, from midday, I'll say, to sunset. There are taboos surrounding it in certain communities about playing after sunset. Yeah, but it's played almost every day by connoisseurs of the game. I mean, it's just like it's their version of the pub, really. They gather around it to play, to socialize. When there are festivals, tournaments may be organized by the leaders in the community and prizes awarded. Yeah, not so much these days, but currently almost every day by the connoisseurs, they play every single day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like all board gamers, a little bit of obsession goes a long way, right?
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely. And in fact, there've been actually sayings, in certain language, surrounding or trying to actually dissuade people from actually, playing it too often, because it can become obsessive. Yeah.
So it looks like our northern player here, Harrison, only has one more stone to win before they one more stone to capture
Chang
before
Hee
they
Jang
win.
has won. Chang Hee Jang has won. Oh no, this is a bit confusing because now 2 was south. Oh no, yeah, 2 was
Yes.
No. I'm confusing myself. 1 is south and 2 is north. So Harrison has one because Harrison was
I believe one is
Yeah.
always south.
1 is always south. Yes, I'm confused.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's
One is
right.
always south.
1 is always south. Yeah, I'm confusing myself.
Okay, let's repeat it again for the folks at home.
Yeah.
One is always south.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
So just then Harrison won because he had to because the southern player Chan Hee Jang was forced to put their stones in the northern houses, and north had no move to make
That's
in order
right.
to give south any stones.
Any
Therefore,
stones, that's right.
Therefore, the game redistributed the remaining stones to whoever's side that was.
That's
so the
right,
northern
exactly,
player ended up getting these stones added to
The
their
rest of the
total,
stones, that's
bringing
right.
Harrison from 24 all the way up to 29 stones.
Yep, that's right.
So
exactly.
back home, if you were curious or if you didn't understand what happened, that's exactly what happened. Let's go back to the tournament to see if we can see anything else.
Now-
I see what you mean. Yes, off you go.
You can look at this game, Mandarin and Kabrilnik.
I love mandarins.
Yeah, Mandarin is a strong player from Kyrgyzstan. He's also
So one is south.
Yeah.
One is south.
One is south. That's right. Yeah.
So Mandarin seems to be in a commanding lead here, both on the
That's right.
scoreboard as well as with stones in hand.
That's right. Exactly. And he's also a Tuguz Korgol, which is just a different name for Tuguz Kumula Grandmaster.
There are a lot of pit and pebble games, huh?
There are a lot. There are a lot. Yeah.
So if you are an Awaria Grand Champion, which is, from what I understand, it's an informal title, right? If you're really, really good at Awaria, what other things are you really good at?
Well, you be a good strategist. In fact, in the past, in some of the crowning ceremonies for kings, they had to demonstrate their excellence in this game.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
So what if you're too dumb, if you can't beat someone, then you can't be king?
You can't be king.
You can't be king.
You can't have your subjects outwin you.
Oh dear. So if anyone out there wants to be a king, make sure that you head down to Rich Mix and meet up with Seth so that you can have your kingdom. There you go. If you want to be a king.
There have been some very prominent leaders who've actually been masters at this game. I mean, for one, Julius Nyerere, well, not Owari, but other pit and pebble versions. Julius Nyerere was a very strong bow player. He was the president of Tanzania. Yeah. So
Super exciting.
Looks like
So-
Mandarin's cleaned that one up. Yep.
Yes, Mandarin ended up capturing the final 2 stones required
That's right,
in order to advance. So we actually the tournament is actually heating up. We've just completed 4 rounds, and it's
That's
happening really quite quickly. We've got 3 rounds
Really
remaining
fast.
before we crown a
That's right.
winner. And we actually have over to the right hand side of the board. Let me actually bring up the tournament standings here.
Okay.
That would be the responsible thing to do if I were a good streamer. Here we go. So I hope you can see that, everyone at home. So over the right-hand side, this is the tournament. This is the tournament interface over at playok.com.
That's
So
right.
you can, if you ever join another Awaria tournament there, this is what you'll look at.
Yeah.
Here are the different boards. I hope you can see my cursor. And over to the right-hand side, we've got our standings.
That's
we've got a good friend, Sarah Kakteev,
Yeah.
who's your good friend, Seth, on
That's
3
right.
points. I believe you get. Can you tell me a little bit more about why some players
Yeah.
have half a point?
Well, because they drew. Basically, that's what happened.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
they
if you
do.
draw, you split the points?
You split the
I
points.
see.
That's right, exactly, yeah. And I can give you a little bit more information. You can see that they're different colors next to the names.
Yes.
So basically, those that are in red, if you look at the number on the far right hand side, that's the ranking points.
Aha.
So you can use that to predict who's going to win.
But that's not entirely accurate because a lot of
It's
these
not.
players haven't played online before.
It's not, but yet that is right. And unfortunately, a lot of those players who haven't played online, who are strong, are observers.
Which again is
Yeah.
a pretty big.
Exactly.
We'll certainly be looking to fix this.
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
If you were in this unfortunate position of wanting to play this Awara tournament and this the way that we organized that affected you, please do get in touch with Seth. I'm sure that he'll be looking forward to starting more Awara over the board tournaments as soon
That's
as we
right.
get started.
Exactly.
Please be. I should put us on so we can have a talk. We can talk to actual people. Do not worry. We here at the MSO have been paying attention. This is the first year that we've been online. We are
right.
certainly listening to our player base. We're looking to get better every year. We'll be looking to sort these problems out moving forward.
Yeah.
Certainly alongside our friends at playok.com.
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
You got it, Seth.
That's-
You're too
no,
you're too popular.
That's Discord. That's a player.
Don't they know, Seth? Seth, the people need you, Seth.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Let's carry on.
So-
yeah.
Good. Enough of them.
Okay, no, they did take part. That's good. That's one person who actually managed to change their status. So that's good. Great. Yeah. Okay. At least, it worked for some people. Yeah.
Good. Now, for those of us back home, I want to go back to this tournament standings because we've got a whole bunch of undefeated players. You'll see. Actually, Seth, do you know how many players we have total in the tournament today?
70.
That's quite a large number.
Yeah, there's 35 tables. There were about 110 or so registered.
Oh wow! So the tournament would have been again larger by
Much
about
larger.
a third.
Yeah, that's
by
exactly,
a half, close to a half.
Yeah.
So well,
that
that aside,
100 players exactly registered. Actually, 100 players. Yeah.
that's still an extraordinary turnout for what is one of our most multicultural offerings. So we'll certainly be looking at getting those issues sorted out for us next year.
Yeah.
But for now, I wanted to draw your attention, Seth, to this to the scoreboard over to the right hand side.
Yep.
We happen to have how many undefeated players we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
This is the fourth round. Let's have a look.
Yes, so
It
we've got
looks
8
like-
undefeated players.
It looks like, well, if this is the fourth round, Sarik, you'd say undefeated players.
Yeah, with a perfect
Yeah.
score of 3
Perfect
and
score
0.
of 3. Okay, yeah, that's right, exactly.
Well, have a
Eight,
look.
Yeah. I can
If
see
you
the
have a
eights,
look at the
yeah.
tournament standing, it's actually got the points here. You get 1
Yeah, I
point
can
for a
see,
win,
yeah.
half a point for a draw.
That's right.
My question to you, Seth, is you've got a lot more experience being a tournament organizer for this. How many games can I lose and still end up top of the standings? Or do I have to win everything?
Oh, that question. No, you don't have to win everything. No, you don't have to win everything. But it all depends on basically, how the other players perform as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's right. But, that question, unfortunately, technically, I could not answer that question.
Okay.
Because I'm very much dependent on software to actually basically
Right.
cover everything. That's right, exactly, yeah.
Do you know how the software calculates tiebreakers? For example, if there are 2 players at the end of the Swiss who have the same point score, what's the tiebreaker?
Well, I mean, all I can say is that the way I used to do it manually, I'll get back to the software later on, is that basically, if they played each other, whoever actually won that game actually basically comes up on top. Now, if they didn't play each other, then that's another matter.
Well, we'll find out. We're gonna, of course, our friends over at playok.com have automated the entire process for us.
Right,
so their Swiss tournament rankings will be what we at the MSO are going to accept for our medals.
Right, yeah.
It's interesting to note for those of you back home that everybody here in this tournament alone, I believe, is playing for pride. So we don't have. I don't believe we have prize money for this
No.
tournament. Is that right?
That's
Seth?
right. No prize money, no, just medals, yeah.
And that is the those medals are actually those medals are really important, Seth, because if you get that gold medal, you get to wear that thing for the whole next year.
They're nice medals, yeah.
If you want to check out those medals, check us out on facebook.com/mindsportsolympiad. You can have a look at our owner. There are a couple of videos out there of our CEO, Mr. Eitan Ilfeld, biting into medals and banging them on things. They're actually really good self-defense tools. For those of you out there who need a new pair of nunchucks, just kind of whack. No, I'm talking too much bullcrap.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. All right, good. So we're heading into round 4. No, that was round 4. No, we're heading into round 4. Excuse me.
We're heading to
We've
round
just
four, that's
played
right,
3
exactly.
rounds.
That's right, yeah.
And it certainly seems like it could be anybody's game with 8 players who are currently undefeated. I would anticipate that it would be impossible to win this with with more than 1 loss. So it's going to be a pretty brutal and fast and quick finish at the end. So the questions remaining for me are: can players like Sarah Kataev and your good friend Akash, can they stay on top of the standings, or will they have some kind of difficulty with maintaining the incredibly high paced the incredible high pressures of their rate of play?
Well, I'm hoping that there definitely are going to be some surprises. I'm looking forward to that. But if I just go according to basically what I know, it's going to be between Serik Aktaev and E17, basically. But we'll see. I wait to be surprised.
I've got a dirty question to ask you, Seth.
Yep.
It's a very dirty question,
Sure, go
and
ahead.
I'm going to be using a very dirty word.
problem.
That dirty word is cheating. Dirty word is cheating.
yeah.
Seth, is it possible, especially in an online tournament like this, to cheat?
It is. It
How?
is. I mean, the thing is that, there are plenty of softwares out there that basically you can actually, have opened and actually basically simulate the moves. There are people who've actually written programs who actually compete at different tournaments with their different programs. So such people could very easily actually basically utilize their program to actually, cheat.
To those people out there who then this opens up to the larger question of why would you choose to cheat at a tournament where there's no prize money?
Yeah, you're defeating yourself, isn't it? Yeah.
I suppose so. I suppose if you could have a little bit of a moment, if you could address those people who might want to cheat, if you could say something to them, what would you say?
Well, what I would say is that it doesn't help your development in any way whatsoever. Basically, it's just an ego trip. You understand? So, it defeats the purpose of actually basically trying to gain something. It's actually superficial. It's short-lived. Yeah. So basically, get back to cracking your brain and developing it.
I love that. I love that, first and foremost. For those of you who don't know, Seth, on top of his duties as the Aware Society president here in the UK, is also a very high-level teacher himself. So he specializes in higher education, secondary and tertiary. Do you teach at a tertiary level as well, Seth?
I prepare students for the GCSEs and also for entrance examinations, 11 plus and so forth, and GCSEs, yeah.
Your answer smelled very much like a teacher's answer.
Thanks.
Okay, let's get stuck straight into this again. We're about to head into the next thing. The next round is just about to wrap up. I don't want to do that. I want to do this.
Okay, have we still got some players playing? Oh,
I think so. Let me give this a refresh and check this out.
That's ended. You've got. No, we got the round 4. No.
Oh no!
What's happened there? Rocky waiting for round to finish. It looks like somebody didn't turn up. It looks like Rocky and Hyun Jun Sun. But round 4's begun. Round 4 begun.
Round 4 has begun.
No, sorry. Round 5 has begun.
That was round 4. Oh, I see. So the tournament,
exactly,
the tournament results hadn't yet updated. So this is round 5.
Exactly. That's why I was a bit, basically confused because it was showing 3, but they had played the 4th round. So I was wondering, okay, what happened to the score? But they hadn't updated it yet. Okay.
So we're following your friend here, Sarah Kiktaev, who is playing in the northern position here.
Yeah, this
and
is
we've got Harrison.
Game. Yeah,
Harrison is also your friend, who we just saw win in a thrilling match in the previous round, playing from the south position here. Can you tell me more? Does it look like either player has an advantage right off the start?
Right off the start, no, it doesn't look like any player has an advantage. What's really interesting about this game is that these are 2 grandmasters in their own versions of Pit and Pebble games, battling against each other. The last time they met in an Awire competition was in Kyrgyzstan at the Third World Nomad Games. So it's going to be a really interesting game to watch. Serik Aktaev is actually, on paper, a stronger player, but Harrison 01 is actually learning pretty fast, and he's been practicing a lot on Play OK. So it will be interesting to see how he gets on, basically. Yeah,
I really like this thing that I've consistently seen Sarah Kiktaev do, which is to simply greet his opponents and to say hi and good game.
That's right.
It seems suspiciously like Sarah Kiktaev might be a good sportsman.
He is. He's a wonderful sportsman. He certainly is. You know, he's a very
Oh
affable,
no!
very affable guy. Yeah.
So it looks like
Sorry.
it looks like Harrison is threatening to play his 3 stone to capture that 1 stone. Is that advisable here? So
Um,
South 6,
no, it's
South
not.
6 to play to beat
Yeah,
one North 1. I
yeah.
see.
Serix moved it out of the way, but it wouldn't have been advisable.
Why
If
not?
it
Tell
was
me
his
more.
turn to move, because what it is that he would expose those 2 houses.
Okay.
Yeah, he would
So
expose those 2 houses, and you see, what do you call it? Serix has got 8 there. So
yes,
basically, yeah, he could have actually used that to come and capture some seeds, you know, at the house 5 and 6.
I see. Right.
Yeah.
Got you. So it looks like that value proposition was you get to capture my 2 stones, but
Yeah.
you have to give up 2 stones in order to do it.
I'll make it painful for you.
I'll make it painful for you. Got you. So it feels certainly in the boxing metaphor like these little jabs, these opening gambits of playing
it.
for 1 stone here, 2 stone here.
That's right. And jostling, the most important thing is jostling for position.
We just saw North 5, the Northern 5. So the distribution by Sarakekteev in the northern position of that 8 reservoir.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Hold on, did you say he moved North 5?
So North, counting from left to right, he moved North 5 that had 8 stones in it.
North
There was a
5
few moves ago.
North 5 has got six stones in it at the moment.
Excuse me, North 2.
Right, okay, yeah, North 2, right. Yeah, it's basically, did he capture any seeds on there? No, nobody's captured any seeds.
He didn't capture any seeds, but there
Yeah.
wasn't 8. There were
It's-
8 stones there.
That's right, exactly, yeah. It's all to actually basically maintain a losing hand. See, he's trying to build up that crew, that 10. He's trying to build it up. And at the moment, you see, Harrison has maintained that 3 there because he wants him to move that 1 to the 4 to make it a 4 so that he can move the 8.
And capture seeds.
That's right, exactly.
It looks like so just then the North 6 had
Yeah.
1 stone in it, and
That's right.
it looked like that was a forced move to give that 1 seed over to Sarakekteev.
Sector, yeah. At the moment, Harrison's going to move that 1 out of the way.
We've just seen 2 stones
Yeah.
be captured the first 2 of the game.
Yeah,
Sarakekteev playing
that's
from the
right,
north
yeah.
position.
Yeah, capture those, what do you call it, in house 5. And then, he's going to give up those 3 to maintain.
But
the
at
losing
what
hands.
cost?
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
4, but in the end, it will actually pay off for him.
So those 3 stones in South 6, they were actually really good value stones, capturing 4 stones in
That's
the one
right.
move there.
Exactly, that's right, yeah.
But I don't think that was avoidable by a northern player, Sarakekteev.
Eventually, no, he could have moved the 11 if he wanted to, but that would have actually,
That would
spoiled
give
his
up.
plans. That's right, yeah. That
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
spoiled those plans, yeah, of building up that crew.
I would expect North 5, the 1 stone there, to go to North 6 fairly soon. Or I would expect the North 2 stone to make its way over to the 11.
He's going to try. Well, he might do it so that he can actually capture seeds from 5 and 6 on South. But you can see that he's moved the 1 to try and build up the crew even more.
So no stones captured on that move, and
No.
that was actually a big move. That was a big move by
but not
by
big enough.
Harrison.
Yeah, but not big enough.
No stones captured.
That had 13 in there, so he only came back to his side.
It looks like there's going to be a lot more complications in terms of building up exact right numbers. It looks like both
Yeah.
players will now be building up a lot more because I don't think that many. Actually, North 5 can capture the South 1 pebble if they don't move it.
North 5, yes, it can. That's right. And so
I think that's what they're going to do.
And he's made it painful for him to do so because if he does
Yeah.
that, he'll capture the 2 or what do you call it, North 2.
Well, we just saw exactly that happen.
That's right. Yeah.
We saw that exactly happen. Okay, so I think the South 3 is going to distribute, and that's exactly
Yeah.
what happened to capture those 2. And we seem to be in a bit of a capturing pattern right now, but until those 2 juggernauts, those 2
Yeah.
big seed huts get distributed.
And
So
North
I would
is
imagine,
North is going to move 3 probably.
yes, yep.
Yeah.
The North 3 pot. So we're counting.
That's right, yeah.
We count from north. We're counting from right to left. We're always counting in a
That's right.
counterclockwise direction.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
So the North 3rd seed, I'd imagine, will go to will distribute. So the one that currently has 2 seeds in it.
Yeah.
Or actually, can you tell me why a player would do that? Why the North player would do that instead of moving the North 1 seed pot?
Because if he moves to the North 1, South will capture it with 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It seems like our northern friend Serakik Tayev has a lot more moves in hand.
He does, but he's also actually trying to. You see, he's taking his time to make the move.
Why is he thinking?
He's trying to calculate the implications of actually each one of those moves.
Ah.
Yeah.
So is Serakik Tayev considering distributing the Big 12? Is that what they're considering also?
I would think he wouldn't want to do that, but
No.
it might be the best thing to do. So he's actually considering the implications of it. But I don't think he will, because.
Of course, he's got the waiting moves. So the moves that we both described, either moving North 1 or North 3, those moves are pretty easy to calculate.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he takes now. It's interesting that he takes now to think about that.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to move North 1 because that would actually give South too many moves in hand.
So it's really North 3 or North 4.
That's right, exactly. That North 1 is actually dangerous. He's got 14, he'll make it 15.
Gotcha. You just did that.
That's right. He sacrificed it. Yeah.
I wonder why.
Well, it's to actually basically maintain his moves, and he's trying to build up that crew. He wants.
I wonder.
He wants South to only take 2 seeds. See that 14?
Yes.
That 14 will
it's
only
forced
grab
to
2.
move.
Yeah.
It's forced to move now.
Exactly. Yeah. You only grab the 2. That is it.
Ah, so it's a limiting loss move.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. And you see, that's one thing you have to actually know about this game. First of all, you have to be defensive and you have to minimize your losses. Very important. Yeah. Don't dig a deeper hole than you're already in.
But that's what I like to do. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Let's go back to the game. Let's go back to the game. That's a terrible joke. I'm just making terrible jokes here. Okay, let's take a look at so Serakik Tayev in the northern position is currently down 5 stones. We've got a big house in North 5, and we've got a whole bunch of stones in North 2 and 3. Yeah. So tell me, if you're playing from Serakik Tayev's position, what are the kinds of concepts that you're looking at to take advantage of these positions?
Well, I mean, the thing is that he's got 8 in basically North 6. Yeah. So basically, what he wants to do is actually build up that crew whilst minimizing his losses whilst he can. Because at the moment, South has only got 3 in 6. You see, but South is going to keep on putting seeds. I mean, at the moment, he's considering whether to sacrifice the 1 in North 1. Yeah, but once South, if he does that, then South is going to have 4 in 6. And basically, that's going to be able to capture seeds from, North side eventually. So he's looking to build up the crew.
Is the 6th pot the most powerful pot?
Not necessarily, but it's the easiest to actually build up a crew.
Because you can go directly into because 1, you can funnel your own seeds there.
That's right.
And 2, because you can instantly attack your opponent.
That's right, exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's the easiest because obviously.
So we've actually seen the 3 distribution immediately.
Yeah.
Why?
He's trying to maintain his moves in hand. You see, he's trying to actually give himself room to actually be able to maneuver a lot more.
I see.
Yeah. So he's not going for the capture. He's not trying to build up to capture when eventually, North moves into those empty houses there. He's trying to actually basically give himself room to maneuver.
Do you think it is a decisive disadvantage that Serakik Tayev is behind by 5 stones at this point?
Not necessarily. I know some grandmasters who they don't mind you having 23 seeds so long as they win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing matters until that 25th.
Exactly. That's it. All they care about is winning.
1 is not 0.
Yeah, that's it.
24 is not 25.
Yeah. They'll position themselves. You get your 23, but you won't get any more.
So here we see exactly what you mentioned earlier with all of those seeds being built up in North 6. It's now 10. Are we looking for that magic number of 12 seeds before we explode? Well,
that's what he's looking for. He's looking for 12 or more. Yeah,
so then the next tension point seems to be this 6 stone in North 2. How is that going to when is that going to move across then?
Well, I mean, he's gonna have to move it at some point. But you see, he's moved it now. Yeah, he's moved it
No,
because he
what
knows
the
that.
North Six?
Yeah, he knows that what's gonna happen is that
No, that's the South Six. The South Six
the South
moved. I'm
Six.
talking
Yeah,
about. I was talking about the North Pod Two, North
North
House
Fourth
Two.
two. That's right. Well, you see, he ideally he would like to make a capture, but he's limited because he's only got now 2 moves in hand.
Well, if the 7 moves now, I mean, it's
Yeah.
North. It's if the 7 moves now, he would have captured 2, but now 1 because
He's gonna probably move the 10. He's gonna move the 6 because it's gonna be too painful. If he moves that North 2, South is gonna use 5 to capture 6 seeds, 6 or 7
yes,
seeds.
I see that. Yeah,
Yeah. So he's
very
gonna move. He's gonna move the 10. He's gonna move the 10. Harrison Owen is putting up a fight. Wow.
Well, even if
This
they
is
move the
exciting.
10,
Yeah.
if they move the 10, then doesn't that mean that the South 5, the 6 stones there are going to capture at least 4 stones?
Well, 6.
Oh, excuse
Yeah,
me, I
yeah,
miscalculated. At least 6 stones.
Yeah, yeah,
It looks like Sarakekteyev is on the ropes in this game.
yeah, he is.
We're going to see this.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to see
yeah.
South 5.
Yeah,
South
yeah.
5 is going to capture like
No,
8
he's not.
stones here,
No,
right?
he's not. No. He's put 1 extra in there, so he can't do it. That's why he moved the 10. You see, that's the whole point.
Oh.
Exactly, that's the whole point.
Because Sarakekteyev will, because the Southern player would not end their move
That's right.
with 2 or
1-5.
3 stones,
That's right, exactly.
forcing this move instead.
That's it, exactly.
Deep.
Wow, deep.
Really cool. I mean, all we're looking at graphics on a board, right? Like
Yeah.
we're looking at pits and pebbles.
That's right, exactly.
Can I ask you when this is played in Africa, do they normally have lots of people like us talking and commentating over games?
Well, I tell you what, you have a lot of commentators in the background actually giving advice as well. Oh yeah.
Oh, isn't
yeah,
that cheating?
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is that usually the 2 players what they call it, on the board are probably very experienced. But you know, it's a very social thing. It's not a competition, really. It's a very, very social thing. Although it is competitive, but you know, they don't play for prizes or anything like that. They play to basically socialize
Pride.
amongst each other. That's it, exactly. That's right.
I'm better than you.
Yeah,
I
that's
beat
it.
you.
Yeah, that's right.
Give me your cow.
Yeah,
Do they
my
gamble on this? Is this a gambling game?
No. I haven't known it to be basically a gambling game at all. No, everywhere that I've been, I've not known it to be a gambling game at all.
Are there? Is that because there is a social aspersion towards gambling in the Western in Western villages? Is gambling frowned upon?
Well, it's not even part of their culture, really.
Okay.
Yeah, not part of the culture at all. You know, they got this ethos of Ubuntu. You know, everybody takes care of each other. You know, so yeah, that's basically not part of the culture at all.
I really Ubuntu, of course, being the name of a very popular operating system.
Yeah. I am because we are. That's what Ubuntu stands for.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, I want to draw your attention very quickly back to this game because that's what we're supposed to be doing. Where both players seem to be getting quite low on time. Harrison, our Southern player, has 1:22.
Wow.
And Sarakekteyev.
This is
Sarakek-
unbelievable.
Sarakekteyev.
I tell you, Harrison in the beginning was one of the slowest players.
Yeah. Well, he's got like a good 40,
Yeah.
45 seconds
That's
now
right, yeah.
over Sarakekteyev.
That's right. But what he's been doing, he's been practicing here on 3-minute games. I've seen him
Yeah.
practicing on 5-minute games to actually get his speed up. Wow.
The game's moving ahead really quickly now.
That's right, exactly.
Really quickly. Sarakekteyev only has 29 seconds left. What happens when Sarakekteyev hits 0? Does he just lose?
He loses. That's right, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
He loses.
All right.
Wow. This is very exciting. This is
The
very
power of
exciting.
training. So
tell me
the
about it,
lead
yeah.
the lead is now 7 stones in Harrison's favor, and Harrison has that 7-stone juggernaut now.
That's right. Yeah.
And it looks like Harrison's from the Sarakekteyev has
exactly, yeah.
is playing from our northern
9
position.
stones, that's right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like that 9-stone is going to be quite decisive.
Well, yes. Well, no, because he's gonna have to give him seeds. Well,
He will.
no. Yes, it is gonna be decisive because he'll move the 1, then he'll move the 3, and he'll still
11
give him
stones.
1 seed, and then
Yes.
basically that 11 will turn into now 13.
A 12.
Yeah, it'll turn into like 16. Yeah, that will be decisive. Yeah. Harrison's
So
won.
it
Harrison's
looks
won.
like
Wow.
what an upset, right?
What an upset.
You
What an upset.
really like Sarakekteyev all this time.
Based on performance, because Serik Active, you know, we organize OI tournaments in France every year.
Okay.
He's won it several times.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, based on that experience, I didn't think anybody was going to beat him. Yeah, wow.
I don't think Saryk is going to get to 16 stones.
No, he's
because
not. No,
he
Harrison's
can't.
won. Harrison's won. If Harrison moves now, he's won the game. That's it. It's over. He doesn't have to wait to put that extra one in there. He just has to move. That's it.
Hold on a second. Oh, wait. Harrison is our Southern player.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm confused again. Yeah.
Harrison hasn't won. Saryk managed to capture 6 stones in a row, bringing the lead only to 4.
Oh, I was getting myself confused there. Wow.
Anybody's game. Now, I have to remind our viewers at home. Excuse me. No. So let's repeat it.
Right.
Let's say the play okay mantra, which is that player 1 is south.
Is south.
Player 1.
Player 1 is south.
The mantra. Player 1 is south. Now we've got a 4-stone deficit here between Saryk and Harrison. The time situation has evened up. We've got 33 seconds left for Saryk and 47 left for Harrison. There are a lot of complications still to be played. In this end game, it certainly looks like our northern player, Saryk, has more moves in hand. And there we go. Now the lead is only 2 stones. Whose end game will be better under these time pressures? I should mention that there is a 2-second increment involved in this game.
That's
so as long as you play quickly, you will not run out of time.
That's right, exactly, yeah.
At the moment, though, it looks like Saryk
he will win, yeah.
It looks like... and for our viewers back home, just to remind you, it's because of this idea that if you can manage to keep all of your stones on your side, and there is no move that can that your opponent can make, you will take all of those stones home. So both players are playing with that rule in mind right now. So that one move from North 6 was forced, and then that's why it's so powerful to have 3 stones in North 5.
Yeah.
Oh, this is down to the wire. So Harrison is going to be forced. So our northern player Saryk that move is forced.
That's right.
And now Saryk will capture those last 3 stones.
Last 4.
No, he won't.
Well, it depends on how he moves them, because he's actually basically not moving. He needs to move.
Will he get these last
seeds.
3 stones?
Yeah, he needs to move those 2 seeds into the house 5. He needs to.
Is this a vicious cycle?
No, it's not a vicious cycle, but they're playing it as if it is. He needs to move that one. Okay, well, that's it. Done. Saryk's won.
So player 2, Saryk manages to take it away after after being down like 7 different stones.
Yeah, that's right.
Being down on the clock, a lot, actually.
37 seconds, yeah, that's right, exactly, yeah.
Ridiculous. And I think that just goes to show you the power of the end game and how and how much calculation is involved, particularly in the end game.
That's right, exactly.
Really great stuff.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So you see, as you can see, he basically didn't care how many seeds he had, so long as he won, basically. Yeah. He was down.
Well, I'm sure he cared. I'm sure he was calculating the whole time.
I'm sure he must have been sweating as well.
If you're watching, Harrison, a big shout out to you for your gameplay. An extraordinarily well played match. You had the lead all the way through the end, but we do play. It is a fast game. Now, we're on to the next round now. This is actually round 6. So we've only got 2 rounds remaining. What I'll do is, I did this in another tournament. I hope I don't do this again. I forgot to bring the game board up in another tournament. That was terrible.
Okay. Right.
But here we go. We've got your 2 contenders, the 2 players that you tapped on the shoulder as being the top of the game.
Yeah.
This is round 6 between E17 and Saryk.
These are 2 friends and 2 grandmaster players in Tugus Kunalak and master players or senior players in Owari, basically.
Seth, can you remind me what is that mantra that we've got? Who is playing in the south position?
E17 is south.
No, okay. Player number 1. Let's say it again for the folks at home. Player number 1
is south.
Player number 1 is south. E17 is south. Okay, and then we're off to the races. E17 plays their very first move from pod 3, and Saryk.
Why is he doing this? Offers a draw.
Why?
No.
Oh, I think what they've done is they've calculated that if they draw their next 2 rounds, that they should end up at the top of the standings.
That is not on. That is not on at all.
It's not on?
Not on at all.
It happens a lot in chess. We'll talk about this later. We'll talk about offering draws in a tournament later.
Right.
Well, I'm sure that you'll have an earful to give both of these players later on when you
tell me about it.
give us a good match. Give us a good match. Well, I mean, like for us, they lost the opportunity to show us some excellent Aware and to advertise the strength of their play in an online tournament for a global audience. So really, I guess you know what? I'm going to yell at them too. Let's bring them on stream and we'll
yell at them. That's right, exactly.
Okay, so that aside, let's head into this game with our good friend Harrison01 and Mandarin.
Yeah, Mandarin. Yeah, he's a top player, one of the top OI players from Kyrgyzstan.
Mandarin, you are my 17th favorite fruit.
Yeah. And Harrison. Yeah, top player, OI player from Uganda. Also Umweso Grandmaster. Yeah.
Fantastic. So tell me, what are your impressions so far in this opening board? Seth, what do you see?
Yeah, well, what I see is Mandarin's open up an exposed position for himself there.
Is Mandarin in the south or the north?
In the south. Mandarin's in the south. You see,
our number one player is in the south.
House 3 and 4, they're exposed, basically. House 2 of north can actually capture House 3 and 4. And... he's got more. Well, he hasn't got more moves in hand.
House 3 and 4. Don't you mean that South 1 and 4 were exposed?
South 3 and 4.
South 3 and 4. Yeah. Well, South 3 had no stones in it.
2 in the middle.
South 3 had 0 stones, and South 4 had 1 stone in it.
That's right, exactly.
And now it's exposed.
Well, yes, exactly, because North can capture those 5.
Well,
chose not to.
Ah.
Yeah.
So North could have just played. Well, it was South's turn, but North was threatening, right. I think, to play North 6. So those 4 stones capturing the two middle houses. I think that was the threat.
So now it's North's turn.
It is North's turn.
Yeah.
So Harrison
captures.
I don't think North can. No. No, I think Harrison couldn't. No.
Yeah. South's turn now. At the moment, can he set a trap? No.
You mean you've said you've mentioned this trap a lot. What do you mean by setting a trap?
A trap is a move whereby the opponent is actually trapped in that no matter what they do, you capture some seeds from them.
Okay.
That's a trap. Yeah. So sometimes they can be very devastating because it might not involve just 2 or 3 seeds. It can involve multiple number of seeds, 5, 7 seeds.
In this board texture, it looks like both players are only going to be able to capture either 2 or 3 seeds at a time if they're lucky.
Yeah.
Here, it looks like if both players play well, that we're going to be like building up both players' reserves, moving, thinking about this idea, playing defensive. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Consolidating seeds. This 1 seed in South 2, played by our good friend Mandarin.
Yeah. That's right.
How do you anticipate that 1 seed moving anytime soon? It could be captured by North position 6.
Hold on 1 second. Let me come back into it. Okay. Let's have a look now. Say that again. Sorry.
Well, the moment is over, but
okay.
Actually, the South 2 needed to move to South 3. That was the last move. Yeah. And if South 2 didn't move, then North 6 could have captured.
That's
by
right.
playing.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, the moves are happening super fast now.
Yeah. And then South 4 can capture those 4 there. But it's not his turn, so at the moment he's made.
That's the threat.
He's neutralized.
Oh, okay.
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
But if South 4 still plays, they're not going to capture a thing now because they won't.
That's right.
They won't end with
2 or 3. Yeah.
They won't end with 2 or 3 seeds.
That's right. Exactly.
Which is why North, our good friend Harrison, played that move.
That's right.
Saw the same threat.
And it wouldn't be a good move to make anyway, because you see, North 6 is basically, is threatening these 2, 3, and 4 in South, basically. So
that's a big move there by South 5.
Yeah, he tried to neutralize that. North 6.
Gotcha.
Sacrificing the 1.
There's a lot of opportunity to capture South's pebbles here.
Yeah.
But is there really?
No, he's captured those 2. Yeah, he sacrificed that. He did that intentionally. Yeah.
Because that gave up another 3 for South.
Yeah.
So Mandarin was able to capture 3 right back.
That's right. Yeah.
it seems like there are a lot of these passages of play in Aware are quite common, where I give you a couple seeds, so that you have to give me a couple of seeds back.
That's right. In fact, the top games, that's all they do. That's all they do. You make one mistake and basically a crew's building up. That's all.
It seems like it's an advantage to have a lot of different numbers of stones ready to go in this game.
We're ready to capitalize on a mistake.
Yes. So something that I've seen a lot is that players seem to be maintaining 2 different pods of large numbers, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about this idea of 2? What about you either have 1 large number of stones or 2 large numbers of stones? What about having 3? Does that ever work?
It can work. It can. You just have to actually be very skillful at maneuvering the seeds. You know, it can. But if you play a really experienced player, it could end up to be actually a non-starter.
What do you mean by a non-starter?
Yeah, it will become useless because the person
Okay.
will just block you. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
So it looks like both players are building one big juggernaut. We've got the 13 at North 5 and the 11 at South 4.
South 4, that's right, exactly, yeah.
It seems like it's a really close game, both in terms of the clock and the stones in hand. Do you think that either player has any kind of advantage right now, Seth?
At the moment, it looks like North has got the advantage, but because of where their seeds are positioned, I think it would be wise for South to... Yeah, and they did. They moved the 11. Yeah.
Can North capitalize on this at all? They can capture 2 stones in South 1, I think.
They can capture those 2, yeah. And at the moment, North has got the advantage, but probably what's going to happen is that South is going to move the South 2 to try and neutralize the North 5. Because North 5...
If North 3 moves now, I think that's actually a mistake because South 6 can immediately... No, South 6 can't capture immediately.
No.
Forgive me for my misanalysis.
Yeah, he's probably going to move the
16?
The South 2.
South 2, the 8 stone.
Yeah. To neutralize the North 5. Because North 5 at the moment is actually going to land on South 4. So he's going to actually basically move the 8 to neutralize it.
Quick calculations there, Seth.
Yeah.
Now, you happen to be a very high level. Oh, wow. And there we go.
Yeah,
that 16 has just moved to capture 5 stones.
And that's because he didn't move the South 2.
Aha.
He moved the South 2 to neutralize it, yeah.
Because he would have ended his move on South 4 and there would have been 4 stones there instead of 3.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah. So for our friends back home, we capture stones in Aware by ending your turn in your opponent's pots, and if those and if your total of seeds adds up to either 2 or 3, you will capture those stones as well as any other stones linked to it that are also on a total of 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Which is what we're seeing now by the white silhouettes shown by Play OK. This is the capture. We got a lot of captures going on now.
Yep, certainly.
It's a bit of a capture spree. Do you think South 6 is going to be moving anytime soon?
Let's have a look.
South 6 will capture 5 stones, won't it?
Yeah, it will capture 5. That's right, exactly. Yeah, I'll be surprised if he doesn't move it. But if he does move it, then North will capture 4 stones.
And they must be the South player Mandarin will be thinking about that now.
That's right. Well, North will be thinking about it. Yeah,
and that's what they haven't done. So I'd imagine here that that North is at least going to move that 1 or prevent.
Yeah.
Oh, they haven't. They've gone go for it anyway.
Yeah.
Take the 5 stones. I'll take more.
Yeah.
And here we go.
There you go.
Capturing 3.
Yeah. All positioning.
Gave up.
Positioning.
Yeah, it is. It's all positioning. And now this game state, it looks like the calculations involved in this game are very pictorial. It's very fast.
It is. But you see, for some people, because I tell you what, when you're playing in a traditional board, the size of the cups are very small. So it's very mental in that they keep track of the numbers of seeds in the houses.
Yes.
You understand? Because it's online, it's very pictorial. You understand?
Yes.
Basically, when you're playing on an actual, traditional board, it's very mathematical.
Just numbers.
The numbers exactly in their heads.
Yeah. Have you heard of this thing, Seth, where I can't remember the name of it, but back in the 1980s when Tetris was 1990s when Tetris was starting to take off, there was a psychological disorder where people would who played Tetris too much, they'd close their eyes and they would see Tetris pieces falling
Okay.
down in a constant thing. Does the same thing happen for Oware players where they close their eyes and they just see lots of shifting stones all the time?
Well, what I have been told is that top players. Well, top players told me this before. If they lose the game, they'll go back home and play the game back in their head.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll play the game back in there to find out where they made a mistake. Yeah. I've actually, hosted a competition where a blind person has participated before.
Extraordinary.
Yeah. So,
Would you say that the skills here are more? Is it mathematical? Is it spatial logistical? Where would you say that the main
mathematical.
computational?
It's mathematical.
Uh-oh.
What's happened to Mandarin? I think
No.
he's been disconnected. Let's hope.
Yeah,
he comes back.
Mandarin. Yeah, well, these are part of the difficulties of running an online tournament.
That's what I'm saying,
Sometimes people will have
Drops out.
disconnections. Yeah,
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you sometimes have this. It happens a lot more, less commonly over the board. Sometimes
That's
people
right.
might have to go rush off to the toilet
That's
or
right,
something.
That's right, yeah.
But we'll wait for 34 seconds isn't a long time, so I hope
No,
that
it's
Mandarin
not.
gets to reconnect here.
That's right. Yeah.
If
I
not,
hope so.
then
Yeah.
Harrison will be crowned our winner of this game.
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
And because of the draw that happened on board number one, Harrison
Yeah.
will end up at the top. Actually, taking that moment to think about that draw that happened between our two top players, E17 and Serakak,
Yeah.
it doesn't make a lot of sense because the whole tournament is via Swiss.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's only the player. There's no playoff. There's no reason to draw into the semifinals and play it off.
Well, yeah. So probably they're thinking basically it's going to be like a classical Swiss, whereby the way they organize it, they're calculating that it's advantageous to them. But this is a totally different platform. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
It's a different tournament structure because we don't
That's right,
because we
yeah.
don't have that playoffs. It's simply whoever wins at
That's
the end
right.
of round 7.
Exactly.
So they're drawing
Harrison's
simply Harrison won.
Yeah.
That's actually a shame because it was actually looking to be I think Harrison had a good shot of winning that game anyway.
Yeah, he did. But it's a shame that Mandarin actually basically dropped out like that.
Certainly, because we want to see the full
The game to the end. That's right.
We want to see the game to the end.
Yeah.
So that was I'm going to bring us back up. That was round 6 of 7.
That's right. So we've got a final
Next
round to
round.
go.
Yes, our final round is about to come, and it's actually a bit of we've got a little bit of controversy. We've got some online dropouts.
Yeah.
We have a whole bunch of angry players on Facebook and YouTube telling us they couldn't get into the tournament.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
So it hasn't been the smoothest run tournament, but I tell you what, we have had a great deal of fun at home, online with you and with our players, watching some incredibly high level Oware, understanding some of these concepts behind what seems on paper to be one of the simplest games in the world, but it's not. It is not.
It's got a great depth.
It certainly does have.
Very unassuming. Yeah.
It very much is. Yeah. It's the quiet girl at the back of the. I don't know why I said girl. It's the quiet student at the back of the classroom who doesn't say much, and then they end up getting like the super top A-level grades and going off to Oxford and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. You see, that's the thing. It's like you said in the beginning. It's the simplest games to learn. One of the simplest games to learn. Very few rules, but it's actually got a lot of depth. As for some people, it takes a lifetime to master. If they manage to do so at all. Yeah. So that's what makes it so beautiful. Yeah.
No, please go ahead, Seth.
So that's what makes it so beautiful. It's easy accessibility and also the depth level as well. There's so much basically you can actually develop or progress within the game. Yeah.
Which I'm actually quite thankful for our viewers, because we've actually seen a great deal of that beauty come out through the concepts that you've been able to show us. Mm-hmm. It is so much deeper than I ever could have imagined. If the game of Oware, you got some friends in the background there. Is that your? There's
the children coming. That's right.
The children. It's the daughter.
Do you play today? Yeah, they play.
Oh
dear. They've been in some tournaments before. Yeah, I think 2017 they took part. Yeah.
Do you play Oware at home? Is it if you lose this game, you do the dishes?
You do this, yeah, we do, yeah. Not as often as we should, but we do sometimes. That's right, exactly, yeah.
Fantastic. I'll just to finish that thought before. Thank you so much for talking through a lot of these great concepts. It's certainly illuminating how many different probability branches there are, and it's actually I'm starting to see now, because of how variable the game is, how difficult it might be to create a software which solves this game completely from all of its different different permutations. Although I wonder, right? We've got artificial intelligence programs which have fully solved or come close to fully solving chess. And the strength of certainly chess engines and Go engines has far surpassed human intellect.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about how computer programs rate against the top human players in the world for Oware?
In fact, at the moment, I haven't. I think it was in 2000 that there was a computer championship at MSO at Alexandra Palace, and I think there were just about 2 or 3 computers. But I do remember, I think when the Grandmaster Trevor Simon from Antigua played it, he beat the program. Since then, I haven't heard of any program that has actually been able to that has been paired against a human being, basically, or a Grandmaster player. So at the moment, I would say, to my knowledge, there isn't a program that actually can beat a Grandmaster player. I haven't seen it yet.
Please don't let Demis Hassabis hear you say that, because are you familiar with who Demis Hassabis is?
Look, Demis Hassabis has taken part in our tournaments at MSO before.
Aha.
In 1999, he came 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah, and
extraordinary.
He said, "This is the hardest game I've played in my life."
Wow.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Demis Hassabis is I believe he's a 5-time Pentamind world champion.
That's right.
So the Pentamind is the golden crown jewel for our MSO. It is it's the title of the world's strongest board gamer.
Yeah.
We have to take the top 5 scores of their tournament participation, and we rank them against the top 5 scores for every other game. Demis Hassabis is an extraordinary individual in his own right. He's a big sponsor of the MSO, provides a lot of the prize money, but also one of his main claims to fame is he was the CEO and founder of Google DeepMind, one of the artificial intelligence computer programs which helped to, some say, solve or greatly enhance the idea of machine learning. He's been a big artificial intelligence and artificial learning is a big part of the way that he wants to add value to the world, and he's an extraordinary gamer in his own right. Last year, I commentated his finals in the Catan, and his family are deeply involved in the MSO year after year. So for him to say something like that, Oware is one of the toughest games he's ever played, that actually has a great deal of it's an impressive thing, because he's a very impressive individual.
Well, I tell you the interesting thing about that experience, that tournament, because basically he came 3rd to Trevor Simon, who is a Grandmaster player from Antigua, and 2nd to Jonas Esse, who is basically hadn't played Oware for probably a few decades.
Wow.
And just, came to MSO, just like learning to riding a bicycle. Once you learn, you never forget. He just started practicing, and then basically he took silver.
Taking names, smacking fools upside the head, destroying worlds, flipping tables. Well, there you've got it, right? Like, what an endorsement from recognized one of the smartest brains in the world, right? Demis Hassabis, a shout out to you if you're out there. Please don't send the robots after me.
Come back to Oware. Come back to Oware.
Yeah, what are you doing, Demis? What are you doing tonight? Leave your family, get online, join our Oware tournament. Now, oh dear, I've just happened to do a bad thing.
Okay,
so we're at the top of the standings. Yeah. So yeah. So we're watching Sarakiktayev and 9AT. This is the final round of the tournament.
Yeah, 9AT is a strong player from Kyrgyzstan. And
there's a lot of stans.
Yeah. Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, a lot of stans, And,
Istanbul, no, that's a terrible joke.
That's right. It's going to be an interesting game.
Sarakiktayev playing from the southern position here, and already down 2 stones to 5. Although, as we have seen in this tournament, a 3-stone advantage, particularly early, isn't something to write home about. 25 is the beautiful number that you're looking for, and the stones are flying. They're flying out the door.
Certainly, yeah. I don't think it's going to be a slow game. It's going to be a quick game. This one.
So we see both players building up their stone houses. Actually, it's quite poetic, symmetrical. Both of their juggernauts happen to be in house number 5.
5. That's right. Exactly. Yeah. Because what they do,
we
you
see-
see, they leave
Yep.
house number 6, so that if the other person moves 5, they can actually capitalize and capture with the house 6.
Or in their own house as well.
No, from the other person's house. They will leave house number 6. See, they got 1 in there, and the other
Yes.
North has got 3 in there.
Yes.
So if either of them moves that big house, they
can capture a stone.
That's right, exactly. Yeah,
Immediately.
that's right, exactly. Yeah,
By moving whatever their house 6
that's
is.
it, exactly. And it looks
Gotcha.
like Serik is going to move 14. Because
Do you think South 2? Do you think it's South 4?
Yeah.
Do you
he's
think South 4 will move
yeah.
then?
I think he'll move 14 because he's blocked South 4.
Oh.
Yeah, he's blocked out South 4.
Why? If South 4 moves to South 6, isn't that a good thing?
It is a good thing, but I'm wondering why he's blocked it. But anyway,
Who's
maybe,
blocked?
What do you call it? Serik South. I see.
They did.
you see?
Sarah Katayev did
Yeah.
exactly what you said.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, he blocked it. Yeah,
capturing, managing to
those
capture.
2 seeds, that's right. Exactly. Yeah,
Well, 4 seeds. That was a 4-seed capture.
that's right. Exactly.
But he
And
could have
so-
captured more. He could have captured more if
Well, the thing is, if he had done, then what do you call it? North would have captured more as well. Yeah, exactly. So he minimized his losses. Yeah.
Don't punch me. I'm punching you. Will South 6 move now to capture those 3 stones? If South 6 captures those 3 stones in North 3,
Yeah.
does that mean that the big 15 stack is going to capture a lot
No,
more?
I don't think so. I wouldn't, because that would actually give North more ammunition.
It's so juicy though.
Yeah, it looks so juicy, but no. It's Delilah.
Well, there's a reason why you are the president of the Awara Society, and I'm just here commentating at the MSO.
Yeah.
So all of the tension seems to be revolving around North House 5, those 15 stones there.
That's
Of course,
right,
we're counting in a counterclockwise position from the player's perspective.
That's
So
right.
if you're playing from the south, from Sarah Kiktayev's point of view, how can you play defensively such that you minimize the losses for when that Juggernaut stone house eventually moves?
Well, that's what he's doing, because at the moment the 16 will land on 4. Yeah, so he's blocked
South
that.
4?
Yeah, he's blocked that anyway. Yeah, and he's actually
Gotcha.
basically got, what do you call it, 3 seeds. When he moves it around, he'll have 4 and capture 8.
Oh,
You see, yeah. So
you're
he's
saying-
put himself
so-
in a good position.
just for our viewers at home, the 3 seeds that he mentioned, you're talking about south position 6.
Yeah,
That's going to
right,
have 4
exactly, yeah.
stones in it.
That's right.
So
Exactly.
once the big 16 stack moves,
That's right.
the south 6 will be able to capture immediately.
That's right, exactly.
From north 1 to 4.
That's
really.
right. Exactly. Yeah.
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 So then the question becomes: will North be forced to move the 4 seeds in House 6? And that's exactly what's happened.
That's right. Just move it. That's right. Exactly.
So then, like, whatever happens, North's only move now is going to be to move the big fat.
That's right. And capture 3 seeds from South 5.
Do you understand what Sarah Kiktayev has just written? Salem, is that
It's a greeting,
peace?
like greeting. Yes, exactly. That's right.
Does that
exactly,
peace
yeah.
be with you?
That's right. Yeah.
Like salam?
Yeah.
So, sir, the northern player 980 is going to be forced to move this big old thing, and that's what
Yeah,
that's what they've just done.
That's right.
Leading
that's right,
directly to this 8-stone capture that we
That's
just spoke
right.
about with Sarah,
Yeah.
that Sarah Kiktayev was preparing. So, for our viewers at home, having like one massive storehouse of stones is not always an advantage, huh?
No, it's not always as much, because if the other person's experience, they will block it. As
And you need, and that's exactly what we just saw today.
that's right. Exactly. Yeah.
And it's not just blocking; it's being able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah. Game's over.
It seems like
Now,
the
there's a
metric
trap.
seems.
This is a trap. You see, he's got.
What's a trap?
That
What's a
position
trap?
you saw right there. The South 5 was threatening the North 5 and threatening the North 2, and the South 6 was threatening the North 2. So at the same time, so that was a trap, basically.
Too fast for me, Seth. Too fast for me.
Okay, don't worry. It comes with what they call experience.
But it certainly looks like Sarah Kiktayev has a massive advantage here.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I mean, he's won the game.
He certainly has, and
Yeah.
handily.
Yeah, that's right.
Salem
There
to
you go.
you, Sarah
That's
Kiktayev.
right.
Peace be with you, and
Yeah.
please don't come near my crops.
And he's just going to move that one south 2. That's it. Game's over.
South. Oh yes.
Oh, no. Somebody's dropped out. Player 1 win. No, player 1 wins. Okay.
I think.
What happened?
Why
there?
was
There
that?
a time. There was
Oh,
enough
player
time.
2 resigned. No,
Oh,
player 2 resigned.
Okay, right. Okay, that's it. Yeah.
So resignations count as well. So back to tournament. Let's have a look at the standings now. So these standings here are actually one round behind. So Sarikek Tayev will now finish the tournament with a score of 6.5 out of 7.
Yeah. Let's see what
Because they
happens
had
with
that one draw.
Harrison 01 and E17.
So actually, does that mean that Harrison took a loss earlier, huh?
Yeah. He took it against Sarik, isn't it? Yes. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So I think that what we saw earlier between E17 and Sarikek Tayev,
Yeah.
they calculated that because the other two players behind them had already taken a loss,
That's right.
that if they took a draw, as long as they won their last round, that they could win the tournament.
That's right, yeah. Silver and gold, sorry. But the thing is, I mean, if Harrison wins this, then basically, I think E17 will come in third.
Interesting. Well, we'll see. We'll certainly see. I think that's completely correct, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's nothing. Yeah. So in that case, E17 would have made a mistake in drawing in taking that draw in the previous round.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
I'm still mystified by that decision. I don't think that they were in a position to draw and still win.
I think they miscalculated.
I think so as well.
Yeah. They miscalculated because of the normal way tiebreakers are decided. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there you go. I mean, this is the kind of thing that will happen in a tournament setting, and particularly when you have the meta idea of how do we win the entire tournament, or
right, yeah.
this actually sometimes happens for the Pentamind World Championship too.
Mm-hmm.
People try to game the system, and how do I make sure that I lock in the best result possible?
That's right,
And let
yeah.
this be a lesson. You should always bash for cash.
That's
you should
right,
always fight it out.
Exactly, yeah.
So here we
that
go.
again.
We've got Harrison in the south position, behind by 4 stones here, and E17 in the north position.
Right.
The
okay.
time seems to be even. What do you think of Harrison's chances here with having fewer stones and seemingly fewer moves in hand?
Yeah, it's not a good position. He's not in a stronger position at all because E17's got North has got more moves in hands potentially.
More stones.
That's right, more stones. Eventually, South is going to have to move South 2, and that will leave him exposed. So, and he hasn't really got a lot of seeds in South 6 to actually basically go around without it being threatened. You see, at the moment,
just for everyone back home, well, that's actually just happened now. South 2 has just moved.
Right.
Is that is it possible to take advantage of that now? Because all of those stones are exposed.
Yeah. At the moment, I mean, the best.
If the 13 moves, if the 13 goes now, they can't capture, can they?
They can. It'll capture 2 seeds.
Just 2 stones. Just 2 seeds.
Yeah. At the moment, capture 5 seeds. Still 5 seeds if he moves it right now. But I don't think he wants to do that because Harrison will be in a position to capture 5 seeds as well.
With the stones in South 6.
South 5.
Oh, excuse me. Yes.
Yeah. So you see, he's moved 14 now. He's pushing him. Yeah, he's pushing him. He knows he's got more moves in hand, so he's calculating now whether to actually basically take those 7 seeds there and risk losing 5. It's all a matter of basically who gets his 25 first.
Yes.
But the thing is that the threat is that Harrison's got that 8, which he could potentially then also build up.
Yes.
Yeah. But the thing is that it won't leave him in a good position because if he takes the 5, then he'll only have a seed to move. Well, 2 seeds, those 3 seeds to move, and that will spill into North, giving him even more moves in hand.
For everyone back home, the 5 seeds that will be captured are currently South 1 and South 2. Mm-hmm. So South 1 and South 2 pod are going to end up having 5 seeds total if North chooses to move that big 14.
That's right.
That's what Seth is.
Yeah.
That's what Seth is. I wish I could show. Wait, can I show you on my mouse? Yeah, here's my mouse.
So
it'll go 14, and then
that's what's happened. Exactly. That's what's happened.
Oh, excuse me. It wasn't. It was actually. I miscalculated. It's actually these 2 stones here.
Yeah, that's it.
And then
that one. Yeah,
and then
right.
Exactly what you said. The South 5 ended up giving those 5 stones back.
Exactly. But
So
now he's not in a good
E17.
position.
No, he's not,
Yeah.
because now Harrison has this big old threat,
Yeah,
which they've
so
just done.
Yeah, he sacrificed
Now
those,
the threat,
and he's actually going to take those if he takes it.
South 4.
Yeah,
South
he-
4, or no, so South 4 was the threat, right?
That's right, exactly. Yeah, and also, North 2 is a threat as well, so he's going to move South 2. Yeah,
So South 4, if this stone stayed there, South 4 would have captured 4 stones back
That's right,
immediately.
exactly,
Which
that's
is why immediately North moved
Moved,
from 2
that's
to
right,
3.
exactly.
Yeah. Fascinating stuff. Okay, so
Ooh.
I think that's okay, because there's no way for North to take advantage. Although, here we go.
No,
Those
look,
three stones. But
there's
then
a trap. There's a trap.
then
and
this.
and he's got more.
North
seats.
1, North
Yeah.
6. North 6, right?
South can't afford to sacrifice anything, but he's in a trap. He can't actually neutralize it.
Why didn't South play South 6 to capture 3 stones?
No, because basically, otherwise he would have actually lost 5 seeds.
Because of
South-
this 6?
South 1 and
Because
2.
of the North.
That's right, because of the 5 that was there.
Oh.
Yeah. That
Dangerous.
Would have ended the game. That would have ended the game.
I'm learning, Seth, that part of my difficulty in Iwara is that I'm just too greedy. I want everything. Well, no, this is... And there we go. E17, our northern player, has gotten to the 24 mark.
Yeah.
1 more seed, or actually, 2 more seeds or 3 more seeds are going to win.
Yeah,
Because you can't capture just 1 seed.
that's right. Yeah, that's it.
And now it looks like that's all she wrote.
It's
How
finished.
can...
That's a classic
Yeah.
trap. That's a classic
In
trap.
North,
Yeah.
in North, and the reason for that, Seth, actually, can you explain that for me, please? Looking at North 5 and 6, can you explain how
Yeah.
there's no way that the South player can stop
That's
the
right.
capture?
Because
Can you talk about that?
Basically, no matter where South moves from 1, South moves from 2, North is going to capture at least 2 seeds.
And that'll
win-
be the game.
And win the game. That's right, exactly. Yeah.
That was a great game by E17,
Yeah.
and unfortunately,
It didn't pan out.
Didn't pan out.
As we wanted to.
Well, Harrison, we were rooting
Yeah.
for you, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Let's actually go back
definitely.
to the tournament. Let's go back to the tournament standings. So, actually, Sarakekteev is on the top. So, this is going to be updated.
Yeah.
So Sarakekteev and E17 are going to have 6.5 points out of 7. Harrison's going to stay at 5 out of 7. 9AT is going to stay at 5 out of 7. But I believe that some of these players are going to go to 6 out of 7, meaning that our top 2 players are going to be Sarakekteev and E17. I wonder how they're going to sort out their tiebreaker. We'll stay around on Play OK to see.
To see
Would
how
you
it does it,
mind?
Yeah.
Could I ask you, Seth, to get in touch with Sarakekteev and E17 to see if they would be interested in coming on for both of them?
I
See if
have informed him.
Fantastic.
So let me actually send him another message.
In the meantime, let's jump into this table 3 match between Bon Juego and Big Leah. 42, the meaning of life. Thank you very much from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Big shout out to Douglas Adam out there. If you're listening, big fan of your work. I would very much like one of your fish in my ear, your babble fish. So we're here at 21 stones apiece. Goodness gracious, we may end up seeing this rule that we might see a draw. We might see a draw here. So the rule that I was just about to think about was this idea that if you keep your stones on your side of the table and no result happens, then the computer will resolve that draw by giving each player the stones that are in front of them. So if the game doesn't progress significantly, that's what we're going to see here. Both players are going to end up with 3 stones. Although I wonder if that's going to happen. So that's forced. Now, is there any way for the northern player, Big Leah, to keep hold of their 4-stone advantage? Because if there is, then Bon Juego is going to lose. If not, then it's going to be a draw.
Okay, I've sent them
These
a message.
Thank you so much for that, Seth. So what do you whenever you have a moment, jump into this game, please, and have a look at it, and tell me if you think this is a draw, or if Big Leah is going to win.
No. North is going to win.
Gotcha.
Yeah, North's going to win because they've got more moves in hand, more seasons on their side.
Capturing 2 stones there, yeah. North. That shows you the power of the end game. At one stage, it looked like 3 stones there were 3 stones rotating in the north pile, 3 stones in the north seeds. But that just goes to show you the power of computation, counting and making sure. Are you? Excuse me. Excuse you.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm just getting my battery back. Yeah.
That's okay. You're allowed to be excused. That is completely fine. A great illustration by Big Leah here in Endgame Theory. Thank you very much for that, because it looked even, but it wasn't. It wasn't even because of whose move it was, and that actually reminds me a great deal of chess puzzles. This idea that even though a position may look even, it is not. Something that I think is really important to pay attention to in Aware, and it's a pretty big concept in larger calculation-based games like this, is this idea that resilience, your resilience in calculation, not giving up until the very end, calculating very carefully about how you can find these little advantages. It certainly seems to be a theme, a concept that is frequently utilized by these top players, regardless of the board games that they're playing, whether it be Aware or chess or Battleship or Catan or Carcassonne. So resilience, this idea that you're still in there, mate. Don't give it up.
Yeah.
Now we've got a fantastic look at Seth's beard here. He's showing us. We're seeing the beautiful texture.
I'm just looking at the chat. What do you call it? In the chat room of the tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall we have a look at that together?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Well, that's the end of the That's the end of the tournament.
Oh,
So
is that the end?
it's there 7 rounds. There's no
No,
playoff.
there's still a game going. DDI and Juno One Brainix, South Korean player.
Yes. Shall we? Let's jump into that, shall we?
Yeah.
It's just going into the end game now.
That's right.
Let me show it to everybody on.
It looks
There we
like
go.
Juno's gonna win. Oh, it's a draw.
It's a draw.
Wow.
Can I ask you, how common are draws in Aware?
They're quite common. I tell you what, if you've got 2 players of equal strength, they will play for a draw. I've actually hosted a tournament before whereby you had a league and a knockout stage, and there were 2 players vying for the last position in the knockout stage, and they drew 5 times. Yeah, they drew 5 times, and in the end, in the penultimate game, well, the last game, I had to tell them before we started that, look, if you draw a game, we're going to decide it by a toss of the coin.
Wow.
Yeah, and they drew.
So you tossed a coin.
Yeah, toss the coin, yeah.
Now, as a completely impartial, objective person, as the president of the Aware Society, can you tell me, how does Aware compare to other board games in terms of difficulty? Games like Go or chess or checkers, where does it rank in terms of complexity and difficulty to master?
Well, I would think that it's actually, I think, not complex at all, but it's actually difficult to master. Yeah, the complexity, I think, is probably one of the easiest games to actually, become proficient in. But to master it, that's a different matter altogether.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
If those kinds of words, if they inspire passion and anger in you, how dare you tell me that I can't master? If that's the kind of reaction that you've got, then Seth would very much love to host you at the Rich Mix or any one of his other tournaments to talk you through the game, introduce it to you, and hopefully, please prove us wrong. Please prove Seth wrong.
Yeah.
I would love.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to master this. Anyway, back to this game where we're hanging around now for a little bit, waiting for the tournament to finish itself. And once it does, we'll get a look at the standings so that we can confirm our final scores.
I think the tournament. Let me see. I think it has finished. It has finished because I don't think there's any more games being played.
Well, I would very much like to see the results completely.
But, yeah, and this is the problem.
Here we go. I've got the results here.
Great.
Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we'll wait to hear back from your good friend Sarikik Tev in E17.
Yeah.
But here are the scores from the tournament that we just watched. We've got E17 in first place. On both of our winners actually are on 6.5 points out of 7, and it certainly looks like the tiebreaker. It actually doesn't show us what the tiebreaker was.
No, it doesn't.
Maybe
That's the unfortunate thing. Yeah.
Maybe the tiebreaker was alphabetical order, in which case Sarikik Tev made a big play mistake, not starting their username with an A. I'm joking. I'm joking, of course.
Could be.
It'll be interesting to go back and we'll have a chat. This will be something that we'll figure out later, exactly what the tiebreaker is. But there we go. Our top two players, E17 and Sarikik Tev, finishing with 6.5 points out of 7. Both of them completely undefeated. Following closely behind them in third place is Big Leah 42. We watched a number of games played. Congratulations, Big Leah. Only
that's
one
right,
loss.
exactly. Yeah, that's one player that I do not know of. Wow. Well
Big
done.
Leah,
Yep.
if you are based here in the United Kingdom,
Yeah.
then I for one know of one large Seth man who'd be
Yeah.
very keen on getting to know you, maybe
That's
playing
right.
some more stones, talking about the
Definitely.
game with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so please feel free to reach out, Big Leah, if you'd like. You can contact us at msoworld.com,
Yeah.
or you can go to the Aware Society online. We'd certainly be... Actually, I'd like to open that idea to any one of the Aware tournament players here today, as well as anyone back home. If you're interested in Aware, Seth is very much interested in growing his little, well, not little, but the Aware Society, and getting the game out there
That's
in
right.
helping players grow. So please reach out to us. But
That's
a big
right.
congratulations to E17,
E17.
Sarakaktayev, and Big Leah 42.
That's right. Placing gold, silver, and bronze. Yeah. Okay.
So Seth, is there any joy about getting our two leaders, E17 and Sarakaktayev, into have a chat with us?
Well, I'm waiting for a message to come through.
Well, while we do that,
Yeah.
I'm going to take the opportunity to thank everyone at home for tuning in, and all of our good guests all around the world for making our tournament what it is by choosing to play. One of the fantastic things about the Mind Sports Olympiad year after year is this collection of minds, the best players in the world at their different disciplines. But you don't actually even have to be the best to be a member of this community.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about sharing that joy, that love, that desire to play games. And I don't know how you feel about this, Seth. I don't know how you feel about this at home. But the reason certainly that I play games, the reason I commentate these games, has nothing at all to do with the prize money or beating up my opponents. Instead, it's about understanding how I think and learning to better myself through fighting my opponents.
That's right. And also through the process of actually developing your mind,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
it actually helps you to actually solve problems, and that is one thing that we need in this world. A lot of people actually knowing how to solve problems constructively. Yeah, and games is a good way of doing that.
I think it's the purest way of doing it.
That's right.
Although I would like to say that for one, by the way, Seth, I've just WhatsApped you the restream link for
great.
all of our friends to join us if E17 and our good other friends join. We have a couple of messages from some friends. From Tesla Kanev, I enjoyed this a lot. Made me install Aware app. Well, that's a great thing. Like our job, my job specifically as a Chinese person, is to make you install apps. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
That's a joke. It's a terrible joke. It's a terrible joke. No. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else. I was going to talk about how playing games and learning about ourselves. It's great. Actually, I wanted to highlight a conversation that you and I had, Seth, a little while before this stream started, which was how you asked me, what happens if the winner doesn't speak English? What if they speak French or Russian or Korean or any one of these African languages?
That's right.
And the sheer fact that you had to ask me that question, I think, was fantastic. I think the diversity that Aware, this tournament, has brought to the MSO is extraordinary. I think that we should be. We are an international tournament. Why don't we have this diversity across the rest of our tournaments as well? Why not?
Yeah.
One of those reasons being the lack of diversity and access to technology. So simply access to the internet, access to computers, that kind of thing.
That's right. Exactly.
But also at the highest levels, at the very highest levels now, we seem to be going through this birth, this opportunity where there are more strong women players, where there are more strong people of color playing, where we have extraordinary and a lot of it comes from places and people like yourself, Seth, at the Aware Society, or Ukrainian players from Tesla Kanev.
I tell you what, if you would believe it, I mean, the first MSO champion in Aware was a woman from Antigua, Sakili Richards.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was her name?
Sakili Richards.
Sakili
Richards, yeah.
Sakili Richards. If you're out there, Sakili Richards, I've got two questions for you. Why aren't you here now?
No, that's right, yeah.
and what are you doing with your life now? We'd love to get in touch. We'd love you to rejoin our MSO community if you're not already part of it, because that's actually a big thing too. Maybe Sakili Richards was part of our tournament, and we never know. Like all these different,
could be under an alias we don't know.
All kinds of aliases, all kinds of different names.
Yeah. I'm just looking for your link to send the streamed address.
Yeah, so I've just sent it to you via WhatsApp.
Oh, what's
but I
up?
can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
So I just
okay.
sent it to you via WhatsApp. Let me try to. Like sometimes my phone is a little bit screwy, so we'll do
Oh,
this
there you are.
again.
But
Yeah.
okay, great. Let me just share it. I've got it. That's fine. I got it.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Let me send
For
it.
those of you who've been watching and joining us at home, thank you so much for your time and for sharing this joy. Please feel free to tune in to the rest of our coverage for the rest of our tournaments. We've got a fantastic commentary team this year, and we're playing a lot of games. We've got a lot of chess on the schedule still. I'll be doing Catan Bullet, which is a perennial favorite. A lot of money up top. I love the bloodthirstiness of Catan. It's one of the most friendly games out there. It's been sold really well, but we only have prizes for the top place. There's one prize for first place, and it's $150 to spend at the Catan store, and everyone else gets zero. And you have to spend. It's brutal because everyone has to spend the entire day playing Catan. I mean, if you only care about prize money, it's brutal. For everyone else, it's a wonderful chance to play this game that we love. If you have any questions for us, if you'd like to participate, then the MSO is a yearly tournament, and every year we are looking to add new games, and you'll have this opportunity to fight against some of the best brains in the world.
In the world, yes.
In the world,
exactly.
Speaking of which, Seth, have you played any of our tournaments this year?
No. What do you call it? A specialist. That's it. A specialist. In OR, yeah.
You are a hermit. You play in a cave. You just do the one thing for 5 years.
That's right. Exactly.
You're really good with catching.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm more of an organizer than a player.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more of an organizer because I think 2017 was the first time I took part in the MSO tournament. That was the first time, because the first 4 years, we actually, organized the OI tournament. Yeah, so, and then we've been doing tournaments ever since then, so basically hosting, arbitrating and so forth, yeah. So, more of a player,
thank you for your
organizer
time.
than tournament, yeah. Great.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Now, I thought I'd check in. Will either E17 or Sarah Katayev be joining us today?
I don't think so, because like I said to you, first of all, I mean, they're predominantly, Kazakh, Russian speakers. Sarek speaks a little English. So I don't think, they probably think that it's not worthwhile unless we've got a translator.
And that's completely fine. That's completely fine. These are some of the interesting problems that we have when we have an international player base. Yeah. I think that it's actually a mark of distinction for the MSO. Actually,
it certainly is. It certainly is. And I tell you what, I mean, from this experience, maybe we need to actually think about how to actually incorporate the online with the physical.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I would love to see some of your. You've been talking about some dance moves with some of these high level players flicking stones into bowls and things.
That's right, exactly.
I would love to see that. Well, seeing as we're not going to have any, seeing as how we're not going to have our top players come and join us for an interview, I wanted to wrap this up, Seth, because you're an extraordinary individual. I wanted to ask you just one question before we wrap this up today, and that is, if you had one piece of advice to give to aspiring gamers out there who might be maybe this video was their first experience with Aware, and they're a little bit intimidated. They're thinking, I don't understand anything that just happened there. How do I get better at this? What piece of advice would you have to people who might think like that?
Persevere. Yeah, that's the number one piece of advice. Persevere, because who you see as the grandmaster actually started at where you were at some point in the past. Yeah. So you just have to persevere, and you have to actually want it bad enough, so don't give up, keep on persevering, keep on practicing, and basically you'll achieve your goals.
Fantastic game advice and fantastic life advice, actually, Seth. Thank you so much. Again, from everybody here at the MSO, thank you so much for joining us. If you're interested in Aware or joining the Aware Society, Seth is there to welcome you with open arms once we're legally allowed to hug each other again. I'm sure he's more than happy to lend a hug or two.
Clash with the seas on the board here.
From myself and all of the organizers here at the Mind Sports Olympiad, we have another 10 days left of competition, and we'd be delighted to have you join join in any of our tournaments, please feel free to tune in to our social media streams or for further commentary. We're available on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and there's probably one more that I've forgotten. I'm sure it doesn't matter off the top of my head. Yo?
Yeah. I saw it
What?
on the list. One of the platforms that you broadcast on.
Yo? Is that a
Wow.
name of a platform?
That's what I saw.
I can't. Well, I'll get like bad emails. I get emails from all the Yo people out there.
Okay.
How dare you overlook us later on? Yeah. Well, for all of you back home, thank you for joining us for an extraordinarily fun stream. I didn't think that I'd have this much fun. Please, angry comments alone in the YouTube chats, and we'll catch you next time. From all of us here at the MSO, bye for now, and
It's a
please
pleasure
keep
to be
gaming.
with you all. Take care.
Bye.